styles, some exclusions apply. 20% offer ends October 19th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
How would you like to be able to listen to us while synced up to your TV in the comfort of your home? Well, you can with Sync My Game. Go to syncmygame.com, syncmygame.com to find out how. Rebel football also presented by Howard Hughes. There's something beautiful happening in Las Vegas. Life in Summerlin, a premium master plan community designed to live as good as it looks. Find your new home at summerlin.com. Matt Neverett, Steve Cofield, and the former Rebel quarterback Caleb Herring with you from Albertson Stadium here as the Boise State Broncos jump out to a 7-0 lead, driving down the field on a 6-play, 60-yard drive, taking 2 minutes, 13 seconds off the clock. And with 11:27 to go in the first quarter, the Rebels getting ready to receive the ensuing kickoff. And Caleb, it was about the inverse drives for both of these sides to get things started. Really no momentum for UNLV, a 3-and-out. And the Maddox Madsen, along with the three-headed running back attack for the Broncos, drive their way down the field in the early stages.
I think there's a different way to look at 3-and-outs, and obviously everyone's not built the same, but UNLV went 3-and-out. They didn't get stopped by the Bronco defense. I think they stopped themselves. First down, rollout, you can't take a sack and put your team in a negative situation. They were able to control the line of scrimmage on the next play on second down with the running game, actually pushed the power forward for 7 or 8 yards on a carry from under center, and then just another drop on third down. UNLV, if they clean up their own mistakes, I think they have a better chance offensively. That's when you got to settle your team down, realize this game's going to have a lot of back and forths. The crowd will gently start to fade out, hopefully, as this game goes on. But offensively, you got to put a drive together to respond to what the Broncos did. They essentially stole a possession here by deferring the kick and getting that first defensive stop and taking this early lead. So UNLV has to respond offensively to get this game back to even.
Colton Boomer ready to get this one back underway as the Boise State kicker has it lined up on the tee. He approaches it, and boot meets ball. And the high end over end kick goes out of the back of the end zone behind return man Jalen Glover. Second straight touchback for this Boise State kickoff team. Second chance for Anthony Calandria and company, reigning Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week, his third time winning that award this year. He had a season-high 361 yards in the win against Air Force last weekend, and he did a lot of it on the checkdowns, especially late in that high-powered 51-48 win.
Yeah, I think that may be what he has to do here just a little bit more. But the way that first set of downs went, I think they have plenty of opportunity to take shots over the top. And I think Dan Mullen may have taken some notes on the sideline in that regard, how low these safeties are playing at this point in the game very early. They might need to take a shot downfield to pop the lid off.
Two receivers left. Jaden Bradley all alone on the right side as Calandra takes the first down snap and drops back. He's flushed out of the pocket left side. He'll take it himself. Pump fake to the 30. Reaches the first down marker and then some. Goes out of bounds on the near sideline at the 40-yard line. There's the legs of Calandria for a first down.
Yeah, and if he's able to tiptoe the sideline, he might have gone the distance with that one. It looked like the Boise State Broncos took a bad angle, and Jaden Thomas turned into a lead blocker and created the leverage for him to get around the corner. But that's a good EOS Fitness first down for Calandra in his legs. Sometimes that breaks the seal on the offense just to get that first down.
He had 7 carries for 62 yards last week, picking up where he left off on first down from the 40. He hands it up the middle to Jet Thomas. He spins away from a defender at the line of scrimmage. Stiff arms another one, but goes backwards towards the far sideline. Breaks another tackle, gets to the 40, and goes out of bounds at the UNLV 46-yard line. Broken tackle after broken tackle from Jet Thomas on that play.
That was an outstanding individual effort from Jaden Thomas. We talk a lot about how he's undersized as a running back. He is strong and plays with tremendous leverage. And one of the things we used to talk about with Ashton Genty last season was his contact balance. And Jaden Thomas has elite-level contact balance as well. They're actually going to take away 4 yards from him, saying he stepped out of bounds a little sooner. But he still picks up positive yards after what was a disaster of a play.
2 tight ends right, 2 receivers left. Reynolds on the outside, Bradley in the slot. And it's Kevon Lee in running back. They pitch it to him on the left side on the option. He's got some space across the 45 to the near sideline. Dives towards midfield and is brought down at the UNLV 49-yard line by Bowen Phelps, the linebacker. Third down and a yard coming up for UNLV.
This is where you want to be if you're UNLV. These kind of chains, third and very short here, right at midfield. This may be 4-down territory for UNLV and head coach Dan Mullen.
Clock rolling with 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Boise State. Rebels 3rd down and 1 coming up. 0 for 1 so far today on 3rd down. They'll come out of the huddle with trips receivers to the left. And a tight end, Elksness, on that side as well. Lee in the backfield. He'll take the carry, runs it right up the middle, gets it across midfield for the first. Still moving the pile as he brings a couple of Boise State defenders with him all the way down to the 46-yard line right there on the logo at midfield.
Those are the kind of runs that you want to be able to have. Short yardage situation. Everybody in the building knows it's going to be a handoff up the middle, but the offensive line is able to win the yardage at the line of scrimmage. Great job by Lee, just pounding it in there. Not wasting a lot of time dancing in the backfield. I know what I need to get, and you're not going to stop me. That's a good run on a short yardage situation for the Rebel offense.
6 feet tall, 225 pounds. Lee, a big-time brawler out of the backfield. He'll go to the sideline in lieu of Jet Thomas. Calandra takes the snap, rolls left, throws it deep over the middle. He's got a man near the end zone. It's incomplete. Jaden Bradley, the intended target. Calandra just overthrew him. He had a defender right on the hip as well.
I think that was a lot of contact allowed at the top of that route that may have disrupted the timing. Jaden Bradley had to fight through physicality about 10 or 12 yards down as he broke to the post there. Refs didn't see it. I think that could have easily been illegal contact downfield that knocked him off track. Rebels take the first deep shot through the air.
Clock stops with 9:02 to play in the first. Second down and 10 from the Boise State 46-yard line. Calandria swings right to Jet Thomas. He makes the catch in the backfield, gets around the corner, bounces off a tackler at the line of scrimmage. He's twisted down on the far sideline by Marco Notriani, the middle linebacker. No gain for Thomas, and it's 3rd and 10 for UNLV.
Already, though, in the first quarter, we're seeing a lot of attempts to get Jaden Thomas the ball. And you know exactly why that's the case. He's been quiet in the first quarters of the last couple of ball games, but they're trying to get him a little flare screen. Doesn't get anything because he doesn't get the corner, though. Raising Cane's 3rd down for the Rebel offense. Need to stay on the field here.
3rd down and 10. UNLV on the 46, Calandria in an empty backfield. He's got 3 receivers to his left, 2 to the top of the formation. He'll throw it on the slant left side, grabbed there by JoJo Earl, and he is brought down for no gain. He might have lost a yard on the wide receiver screen. Rebel offense can't get it going, and here comes the punt unit for the second time in this one.
And this is what we talked about with this Broncos secondary. They want to play aggressively. There's an empty set, 0 coverage essentially, but they know they're playing with a forward lean. Their pressure is going to get there, so you're going to have to get the ball out quick. And they play downhill there. The Rebels are going to have to connect on some of those deep shots to back them up and put them on their heels.
So here's Cam Brown and the punt team out on the field. The Aussie averaging 44 yards a punt this year. He sends one high to the far corner of the field. Malik Sherrod down at the 12-yard line calls for a fair catch. He'll make the grab at the 13, and that's where the Broncos will take over, heading from left to right on the other side of a commercial break. 7-0 Broncos with 7:41 to go in the first. Back with more next from Boise on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
The power of we believes in you. It advocates for you. It completes your circle. It makes sure you have the strongest circle possible. And with Intermountain Health in yours, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
Your Barbasol shave is a time for self-reflection. Look in that mirror and ask yourself, can I make a real difference in this world? Of course you can. Just not today. The big game is on. Barbasol. It's a can of can-do.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Boise State leads UNLV 7-0 with 7 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the first quarter. Steve Cofield hanging out on the Rebel sideline down there on the Smurf turf. Steve, take it away.
Sideline report brought to you by your Southern Nevada Chevy dealers. A very focused defense after a faulty first drive there, allowing a big run by Boise State. Very quiet, like I said, very focused. Generally during the game, defensive players are kind of walking around. They were all locked in. Marcel McDuffie gave a couple of inspirational words. Beyond that, they were just studious the entire time, so we'll see if they can lock up Boise this time around. Back upstairs to Matt and Caleb.
Yeah, Marcel McDuffie, a captain along with Cam Friel for this game, and yeah, it means a lot to him. He wasn't really able to get it going in the Mountain West Championship game last year, and a game like this means so much to Marcel McDuffie, even though he's not one of those guys that's going to come right out and tell you.
It's part of his mission was to get to the Mountain West Championship and win the thing. He's been denied that, and that's, again, the big reason why he decided to return. He could have definitely made it a name for himself in the transfer portal, but decided that he's a Rebel, and he wants to finish the job he started a couple years ago. He, Jaden Thomas, Cam Friel, those guys that were around this program for the last couple of years that have been denied by Boise that Mountain West Championship have a chip on their shoulder, and they want to come out and perform well. Locked in, laser focus is what they're going to need. They're now playing from a deficit 7-0 on the scoreboard. Really, you're down 2 possessions because Boise will have the first possession of the third quarter, so they understand the urgency involved in these early series. They get their second look at the Broncos, who have way less field position than they had on our first stop.
They'll start this drive going from left to right from their own 13-yard line. Madsen's out there with Dylan Riley, the running back, on his left hip. 2 tight ends to the right, 2 receivers to the other side of the formation. He'll turn and hand it off to the running back on the right side. He's met at the line of scrimmage by Andrew Powdrell and finished off emphatically by Tunmise Adelea, falling on top of the true freshman Riley after a gain of 2.
And the play is made there by Jake Pope, playing in the line of scrimmage against that 2 tight end set. He spills the play outside, forces the runner to go to the outside. This is the second time we've seen a UNLV defensive back be that contained player to make that tackle on an early down.
Rebels in a 4-2-5 front. It's Marcel McDuffie out there with Bryce Edmondson, the 2 linebackers on the field on 2nd down and 7. Madsen takes the snap. He'll look to throw. He checks left side and rolls out of the pocket, throws off his back foot over the middle, and it's caught. No, dropped. Incomplete at the 30-yard line, and the intended target is down. That's Ben Ford, wearing number 82, still down on the turf, and the training staff runs out to take a look at him. He was thumped over the middle, and he's holding his left leg.
Yeah, I think his leg actually got caught up in the DB's leg as he's going to make that catch. And just an awkward angle. Sometimes in the turf, your cleats get caught while your momentum's going one way, and could be nasty injuries for the lower legs, but don't really see exactly what happened. Don't want to speculate on anything, but he instantly was holding that left leg. He's getting checked out, laying on the turf right now.
Yeah, they'll take some extra time to look at him as TV goes to a commercial break, so we'll take a pause as well on the radio side. Boise State's got a 3rd down and 7 coming up with 7:01 to go in the first. Broncos 7, Rebels nothing on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Jeff, how's the new job working out?
Really sucks. Terrible boss, and the paycheck is even worse. I gotta get a new job.
Truck you.
Wait, what?
Truck you.
You don't have to curse at me.
Dude, you should check out Truck You CDL training. My brother got his CDL license in 4 weeks, and now he has a new career making great money.
Listening?
Truck You offers small classes with night and weekend times available. They will even help with payment programs. Check them out. LV.com. Truck You.
Ready to hit the road in a new ride? One Nevada Credit Union believes your life should be rewarded. With a new or refinanced auto loan, One Nevada will let you skip payments for 90 days. You really can drive now and pay later. At One Nevada, we offer freedom from payment stress and more money in your pocket. So you spend less time worrying about financing and more time enjoying the drive. Check out the benefits of a One Nevada auto loan today at onenevada.org. Federally insured by NCAA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Drive home with Cofield and Company. Weekday afternoons at 3 on ESPN Las Vegas. 1100 AM and 100.9 FM. KWWN Las Vegas.
Boise State leads UNLV 7-0 with 7:01 to go in the first. Wide receiver Ben Ford injured on the previous play and helped off the field as we welcome you back. A reminder that Rebel Football on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield is brought to you by Barbasol Shaving Cream. Why pay more for gels when Barbasol delivers an instant thick lather for a close, comfortable shave? Choose Barbasol, a quality shave and a trusted value. So it's a 3rd down and 7 coming up, Caleb, for the Broncos, and they really haven't had to do too much on 3rd and 4th down, those money downs, so to speak, yet. Still in the early stages of this one. Rebels defensively, though, have been phenomenal on 3rd down. 25% is all they've allowed. Best mark in the conference, number 5 in all of college football.
And they've already given up 1 3rd down conversion in this ballgame to the Broncos, so they'll look to make it right here with a 3rd and long for Raising Cane's 3rd down. It's that tweener situation where you're thinking about dialing up pressure. They tried that last 3rd down, weren't able to get home on Madsen, and he made him pay with the completion downfield for the first explosive play of the game. We'll see how they decide to attack this one. Backed up in your own red zone, you'd think that maybe the Broncos may be a little more conservative with the play calling here as they're set to take this 3rd down on.
Rebels show pressure at the line. They've got 6 men, now 7, all lined up on the line of scrimmage. Madsen on 3rd and long, sends a running back in motion to the bottom of the formation on a hard count. Nobody jumped, so now the running back, Riley, returns to the right hip of Maddox Madsen. 2 receivers and a tight end to the right, 1 man all alone on the left side. On 3rd and 7, Madsen back to pass, pressured in the pocket, he goes down! blown up by Tunmise Adelea. A big-time sack on third down. His second of the year will bring out the Boise State punt unit.
And that is a very welcome sign for UNLV defensively. Paul Gunther bluffs the pressure this time, drops everybody out, only rushes 4. And the Rebels are able to get home against Maddox Matson and this heavy offensive line of the Broncos. First sack of the ballgame comes at a huge time. Raising Cane's third down stop for the Rebel defense.
Australian punter Oscar Doyle backed up in the shadow of the goalpost with the ball lined up on the 8-yard line. They try a hard count on the punt, and he'll roll to the right, still rolling as he now drops it and kicks a high end-over-end kick to the near sideline. D'Angelo Irvin calls for a fair catch at the Rebel 45-yard line, and he'll make the grab towards the near sideline. That's where Boise State is hanging out. So the Rebels defense comes up strong when they need to on third down, with Boise State backed up into their own end zone. Now the offense is going to have favorable field position here to try to tie this game. 7-0 Boise State with 6:16 to play in the first.
Best starting field position for the Rebels to date in this ballgame. So good job by the defense. 3-and-out forced. That's the kind of defense they're going to need to play to hang around in this ballgame. Obviously, the first drive is something that they don't want to give up, but that was a good defensive stand there. We'll see if the offense can continue some of the momentum from their last drive as they did get the ball moving.
2 receivers left. Tayshaun Lyons by himself on the right side of the formation as Anthony Calandria turns and hands it off to Coy Moore in the backfield on the end around. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage at the 45 going to the right, but that's all he'll get as he is knocked down quickly and emphatically. Jaden Mickey, the nickelback, filling in for the starter Devon Banks with the stop.
Trying to get the perimeter action involved here to try to widen out this Bronco defense. But again, playing with their safety so close, they've got good edge containment with speed, and that's a good job pursuing by the Broncos, not being fooled by the end around.
On 9 carries, the Rebels have 32 yards of rushing offense so far. Trips tight end to the left side is Calandria on play action. Takes the snap, rolls to the right. He'll run it himself. He's at the 50, towards the far sideline at the 45. He goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line. However, there is a flag in the area of a block right in front of Calandria at the 40.
And that flag came out extremely late. Calandria is already out on his running. I didn't see a receiver out there blocking that would have been a hold. It looks like it's against the defense, maybe illegal contact downfield. I talked about it early in the first possession. They didn't call it. Maybe Dan Mullen got in the ref's ears and let him know to look out for it. Here's the call.
Holding, number 7, defense. 10-yard penalty from the end of the play. An automatic first down.
First time we've heard the referee Nolan Dumas today since we got started. That's on a Marion McCoy, probably the best defensive back on this roster on a hold.
Yeah, and that was, I think, what they were talking about. Dan Mullen during one of the breaks was talking with the officials about the contact downfield, and it's clearly a hold downfield, and that's similar to what happened what Jaden Bradley had to fight through on that missed connection on the deep ball, is that illegal contact downfield. That's the aggressive nature of this Broncos defense, though. So you're going to have opportunities as a receiver running routes to try to draw that flag, and that 10 yards is added, and Rebels already in the red zone here after just one play.
22-yard run for Calandria with 10 yards of penalty yardage added on to the end. Lions motions from the left to the right. Calandria on a fake handoff. He'll roll to the left, and the clock, or rather the play, blown dead. A penalty flag comes out from the near sideline.
It's going to be an illegal procedure against UNLV. As Lions went in motion, O'Meara, or Bradley rather, actually adjusted in his position. We'll see the official call.
On the offense, none of players were set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And as Calandria, you have to see that as a quarterback. You have to see everything. And I know it's not fair, but you have to see everything there. O'Meara is trying to get lined up. He's checking with the official, and the official tells him to scoot up. So he scoots up, and right as he does that, Lions get sent in motion. You have to reset after motion before you can snap the ball. And again, that's on the quarterback to get that figured out. But Rebels behind the chains, 1st and 15.
Procedural penalty moves it back 5 yards. On the orbit motion, Kevon Lee takes the handoff outside zone left. He's got a lead blocker in Jay Beasley. Gets it to the 30-yard line on the near side. Right at the numbers, he is blown up. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. Sets up a 2nd down and 15 with under 5 to go in the first.
And again, you see the aggressive pursuit of this Bronco defense. When they bring their safeties down, when they're playing with that kind of speed at the level of the ball, it's hard for the offensive linemen to get out on the perimeter and get those blocks. And that's what UNLV is running into as they try these edge plays. It's going to be 2nd down now after pickup of just 1.
Ball on the 28-yard line on the near side hash mark. Man in motion is Coy Moore from the left to the right. Calandria takes the snap, rolls right, sets the feet, looking backside. He's pressured, throws to the far sideline, caught at the 25-yard line by Moore. He breaks a tackle to the 20, blown up out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Great catch, heck of an effort afterwards from the transfer Coy Moore.
And I tell you what, UNLV is inches away from having the deep shot that they're looking for. That play is actually designed to throw the backside post to Omire, who absolutely won on his route, but because of the pressure in Calandre's face, he's running for his life back there. He has to come down to the check down. That turned out to be a good gain, making this Raising Cane's third down much more manageable. But the Rebels are looking for the home run ball, just haven't been able to connect it. Inches away, though.
Third down and a short 2 after a 13-yard pitch and catch from Calandre to Moore. 2 tight ends, both on the left side. Bradley and Omire to that side as well. Calandre takes the snap, rolls out, and the play is blown dead again on a penalty.
And this is, again, it's on Calandre. And not everybody's set. The receivers and everybody's got to get to their position and get set faster, but you got to realize.
Ball start on the offense. Not all players were set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
And that's what Dan Mullen just comes out and tells Calandre. It's on you. You need to make sure they all get set before you get. There's no reason to be rushing here. Take your time, make sure the play's set. It's on the quarterback to make sure that happens. He gets under and does it kind of a quick cadence. Not everybody's set. And not only do you put your team in a bad situation, now you've cost your team on this set of downs alone 10 yards. You could have had a first down already. And now this third down gets a little bit tougher as the crowd raises to their feet on 3rd and long.
Rebels today 1 for 3 on 3rd down. This one a 3rd and 7 from the Boise State 20-yard line with 5 wide, 3 receivers to the left. Calandre takes the snap on the far side hash, sets the feet, fires over the middle, incomplete, looking for Coy Moore at the 10-yard line. Tight coverage, one-on-one from Amarion McCoy. And now it's decision time for Dan Mullen. They'll send the field goal unit out on 4th and 7. Ramon Villeja out to try to tack on 3 points, get the Rebels on the board with a 37-yard field goal attempt.
And the officials are allowing the secondary to play physically. They had the holding call that I think was blatant, but the physicality at the top of the route here is absolutely aggressive. And if you're the Rebels, you just look for that same type of call on the other side. But here we go, field goal attempt.
38-yarder from Ramon Villeja. A good snap. The hold is down. The kick's got plenty of leg, and it splits the uprights right down the middle into the constructed area behind the north end zone. 9th consecutive made field goal from Ramon Villeja gets the Rebels on the board, and with 3:12 to go in the first, it is a one-score game, 7-3. Boise State on top of UNLV. The Broncos have the ball when we come back. This is the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong, you are fearless, you are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory, a force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
The offense is in motion, trying to catch the defense off guard. They're looking for an advantage, just like your competitors. But your business doesn't have to be an easy target. Les Olson IT is your playbook for success. We'll analyze your business needs, identify opportunities, and create a customized technology strategy to help you win. Touchdown. That's how it's done. Achieve your business goals with Les Olson IT. Let's make some big plays together.
Les Olson IT.
The UNLV Sports Network from Learfield brought to you by Findlay Toyota. They are proud to back the Rebels all season long. And just like UNLV, they play to win with unbeatable deals, top-notch service, and the Valley's #1 volume Toyota dealership. That's Findlay Toyota at the Valley Auto Mall. UNLV on the board on a field goal make from Ramon Villeja. 7-3 Boise State with 3:12 to go in the first. Let's send it down to the Rebel sideline with our very own Steve Cofield.
Well, good drive there by the Rebels, by the way. Sideline report presented by the Southern Nevada Chevy dealers. First of all, the procedural errors on the field for UNLV, a lot of it's due to the noise. Last year's game for the championship game up here was very loud. I actually think today's crowd is a little bit louder, probably as loud as that Kansas game a year ago. But it is loud down here. I'll give you the other thing that's really interesting. Nice kick by Ramon Villeja, because if you guys look down on the, I don't know if you can see it from upstairs, but on the field level, there's so many things jutting out of the ground vertically. I mean, you can see the field goal. Maybe this is part of me being colorblind, but there's a crane back there. Like, there's a lot of, we'll call it kicker eye candy to throw you off a little bit. So nice job there by Villeja nailing the kick. We'll send it back upstairs to Matt and Caleb.
Yeah, they are constructing an entire new section behind that north end zone to our left. And, yeah, it is an active construction site. Crane crane and all. I mean, when we pulled up to the stadium this morning, we thought the crane might have been behind the stadium. No, the crane itself was over the field of play. They have since turned it. No Skycam debacle on punts like we've seen in the NFL.
Yeah, so it's a different environment. Steve mentioned it. We talked about it at the top, the communication factor in this hostile environment. It's the most hostile environment Calandria has operated in as a Rebel. I know he's been in the ACC, and there's been some ruckus crowds over there as well, but this one is a unique one. Boise State fans are loud. They are proud of their Bronco football, and they've definitely made an impact in the early going in this ball game. We'll see if the offense can settle down and get rid of those procedural penalties.
Malik Sherrod back to receive the Caden Costa kickoff, and the boot goes through the back of the end zone for a touchback for Caden Costa. The Broncos will start at their own 25-yard line. So far for Boise State, 55 yards of total offense. Maddox Madsen just 1 of 4 for 26 yards. They have a combined 5 carries for 29 yards. Dylan Riley, the leading rusher in the game, with 35 yards on the ground. Rebels forced a punt on the last Boise State offensive possession. Do you think that they try to do anything differently on defense here?
No, I think the key is to win on first down. Early down success. If the Broncos get early down success, that opens up play action and all that stuff that they like to get into. If you can have first down success against this offense, you should be good.
Broncos come out with 2 running backs, 1 on each hip. That's Malik Sherrod on the right side. He has it faked to him. Rolling to the right is Maddox Madsen. Throws off the back foot, complete at the 40-yard line. Tackle made by Mumu Bin Wahad. Demetric Whitlock Jr. on the catch, and that's a first down throw for Maddox Madsen.
And that's just a tough route to cover. A 15-yard comeback off the play action. Soft coverage. Maddox Madsen on the run. If you can't get pressure on him as he's moving out of the pocket, they can take that all day long. Challenging the secondary. Change rolling here for the Broncos.
14-yard pickup for Whitlock on just his second catch of the season. 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line for Boise State. They got 2 tight ends, 1 on each side of the formation. And in the backfield is Sire Gaines. He gets the handoff inside zone left into the second level and tripped up by Jaheim Joseph at the Bronco 46-yard line. Gaines hit that hole quickly, and the redshirt freshman picks up 7.
And the Rebels may have been misaligned to that formation. And Maddox Madsen saw it immediately at the line of scrimmage. Just changed the direction of the play. 2 tight ends on either side. It's basically mirror plays. You can go either way. Rebels were unbalanced, and he took the short side of that formation and got a nice gain on first down.
Matt Lauder and Matt Wagner, the 2 tight ends, both on the right side of the formation. Latrell Caples, the wideout on that side as well. Madsen, play action. He'll roll to the right. Looking downfield, throws off the back foot. That's complete at the 35, or rather the 40-yard line, and tripped up after a big-time pickup on first down is Chris Marshall. The chains move again, and the Broncos into Rebel territory at the 35.
Heavy play action, crossing route. As a linebacker there, you have to identify the routes. You can't be looking at the quarterback to figure out where the routes are. Turn your back to him. Obviously on those heavy play actions, you got to turn your back and identify the crosser. Marcel McDuffie unfortunately couldn't identify it. He's in position to make the play. He just has no idea where the receiver is.
Down to the 35-yard line, 1st and 10 for Boise State. They lead 7-3 here late in the first quarter. Sire Gaines, the running back. Latrell Caples motions into the backfield. On the end around the other way, it's Bates. He'll go to the top of the formation, gets around Joseph at the 30. He's down to the 25, the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Cameron Bates on the end around scores the first touchdown of his collegiate career and extends the Boise State lead to 13-3 with $1:14 to go in the first.
Rebels are being taken advantage of with the flow of the defense, whether it's the play action here on the reverse. The defensive flow is going to the primary option on every set. The Broncos have too many counters to their actions, whether it's play action or here on the reverse, to have that kind of overflow on the defense. This is the experience of the Bronco offense right now, capitalizing on UNLV's defense.
4-play, 75-yard drive, ending in that 35-yard touchdown rush from Bates. And the extra point from kicker Colton Boomer is up and good. Broncos, for the second time, run one in, and they lead at 14-3 with 1:14 to play here in the first quarter. The Rebels need a response here in a game that has been all Boise State to this point.
And I think if you want to hang your hat on anything, you say you've shown that you can stop them in traditional sets. And I think the Broncos have thrown out a couple of non-conventional plays, that reverse being one of them. But also the play action passes. There's guys that are in position or close to being in position. The technique just isn't there to come up with the stops you need. That first down play on the comeback, sometimes that happens. You get that up as a secondary, you're not going to win every battle. But those deep crossers on the play action, technique-wise, if you're going to sell or commit to the play action so hard and then get yourself in a position of recovery as a linebacker, the recovery has to be to the route, not just to the depth. You have to locate and identify the crossers, identify the routes after the play action, and that's discipline with your eyes, discipline with technique. And again, Marcel McDuffie and the rest of the linebacking crew is going to have to be aware how to get underneath and locate those crossing routes, because the Broncos butter their bread with those play-action crossers, and that's what they did on the 2 plays prior to the touchdown.
Maddox Madsen now 3 of 6 for 59 yards passing, but the Broncos have gashed the Rebels in the running game. 71 yards on the ground, 70 of them from Bates and Dylan Riley. Fulton Boomer's ensuing kickoff is in the air, and that'll go over Jalen Glover's head and out of the back of the end zone once more. 14-3, the Broncos on top of the Rebels. Remember, UNLV will get, the Broncos will get the ball coming out of the halftime break. Still a quarter plus to play, but something to keep in mind for UNLV as they try to score their first touchdown of the game. The Ramon Villa field goal, the only points so far. Calandra just 2 for 5, passing for 12 yards. They really haven't had too many traditional drop-back passing looks so far today, and he'll head from right to left here, starting on his own 25-yard line. On the outside of the near side is Day-Day Reynolds. Giangelo Irvin in the slot on that side of the formation. Jaden Bradley motions at the top of the formation. Handoff right up the gut to Jet Thomas. He runs into a defensive lineman and falls forward for a pickup of a couple. He ran right into the gut of Lopez Sanusi, the native of Ireland. Makes the stop for a third 3-yard pickup, rather.
Jaden just picking his way through with a lot of space. The Broncos have brought first down pressure on every set of downs here against the Rebels. They're trying to create disruption on first down.
2nd down and 7. Calandria in the shotgun. He'll take the snap on a delayed handoff. He'll give it to Jet Thomas, running right behind Nick Elsness as a lead blocker. Across the 30. Tripped up 1 yard short of the line to gain is Jet Thomas. Ty Benefield, who we mentioned in the pregame show, has an NFL future on the stop. Raising Cane's 3rd and 1 coming up for UNLV.
It's a good job again by the offensive line. Getting in there and making the push, creating lanes for Jet to pick through. And he does a great job picking a lane and getting a nice gain, making 3rd down much more manageable.
Jet stays in the game at running back on 3rd in the yard. Calandria goes under center with 3 receivers all split tight to the left side of the formation. Thomas on 3rd down takes the handoff. He's blown up at the line of scrimmage. He did not pick up the yard. Jaden Virgin Morgan held him up, and a couple of defenders eventually knocked him down. There was a linebacker in there as well. No Triani just met Thomas in the hole, and with a timeout on the field, Dan Mullen wants to talk this over.
Timeout on the field to talk it over, and this is what happens when the safeties are allowed to keep their noses in the line of scrimmage's business, and when you're not able to connect on deep shots over the top. Everybody in the building knows that it's a run play here. Going under center here, similar play they ran on the 3rd and 1 earlier in this ball game, and the Broncos sold out. They guessed right. They just shot everybody up the gaps and stopped the Rebels before they can even get that play going. Tough way to start off this drive. It's a must-have-it drive, and I think that's the conversation that's going on this timeout as UNLV is deciding if they want to risk going for it here in their own territory.
As the first quarter draws to a close, they'll flip fields, and UNLV's got a decision to make with 4th down and 1 coming up to start the second quarter. 14-3 Boise State, back with the second quarter from the Smurf turf of Albertson Stadium next on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1/8/2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Rebel football on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield is presented by your Southern Nevada Chevy dealers. From game day to getaway, Chevy's lineup is ready for all the adventure ahead. Choose from SUVs like the roomy and versatile Equinox or Silverado. Trusted by those who know what real dependability means. See your Southern Nevada Chevy dealer today. Also by our friends at the Southern Nevada Water Authority. Football fever is in the air, and so are fall watering restrictions. Now through October 31st, it's important to water plants and trees only 2 days a week and your grass 3 days a week. Find more winning water-saving strategies at snwa.com.
I just want to mention here, during that break, they honored some of the wounded veterans of the community here. Purple Heart recipients out of the Marine Corps received a standing ovation. Absolutely warranted. Thank you to the men and women who serve this country and are willing to put their lives on the line for our protection so we can enjoy atmospheres like this here at home. Just want to salute the troops here along with Broncos Stadium. A great gesture, great applause. Setting the stage for this fourth down. The punt unit for the Rebels is on the field, so Dan Mullen decides that it's not desperation time just yet. They'll try to get the defense back on the field and see if they can come up with a stop, figure out this offense.
Broncos lead 14-3 as we get started with the second quarter. Good snap to Cam Brown, and he hits a low line drive that takes a bounce at the Bronco 30-yard line. Dropped by Sherrod at the 20. He's somehow able to recover as he's knocked down at the 20-yard line. Nearly disaster on a design rolling punt from Cam Brown. Good coverage by the punt unit as well, nearly forcing the game's first turnover.
It's a great job. Great punt again. Flipping field position. Getting this at 20. I know it's a low line drive kick, and initially everybody's like, that's a terrible punt, but sometimes that's the intent. You want to get it to bounce. Good job by Sherrod, actually, hitting yardage there, coming up and making that stop. Prevented the Rebel coverage team from pinning it inside the 10.
They'll give him the 21-yard line. So the Broncos heading from right to left will send Dylan Riley, the running back, out there with Maddox Madsen. He's got a receiver and a tight end to the right, two wideouts on the left side of the formation. Madsen fakes a handoff, looks left, fires to the near sideline, a wobbly ball that's incomplete. The intended target, Chase Penry, nowhere near the area. That was just a miscue by Madsen.
Yeah, Madsen actually, I don't think that's a miscue. I think that's an intentional throwaway. Mumu's in great coverage. If he throws an accurate pass, Mumu's picking that and taking it to the house. Broncos going no huddle here, getting back to the line.
On second down and 10, they line up two receivers to each side of the formation. Madsen back to pass, looking left side, throws the out route. That's caught at the 35-yard line. Pushed out of bounds by Amaris Brown. And a good play there to get the first down by Ben Ford.
Actually got to mark him short. He's a yard short at the 30-yard line.
Check that. That's Penry once again. Yeah, they will spot him at the 30. Third down in less than a yard. Coming up for the Broncos so far today on third down. They are 1 for 2 on the season. They are converting at over 46%. Madsen goes under center. They'll flip two tight ends to the left. Now one goes back to the right. A balanced formation on third down in the yard. Rebels not showing pressure as Madsen takes the snap, hands it to Gaines right up the middle. He runs over one of his own offensive linemen and is brought down by Zay Patterson on the other side of the marker. He ran right over Chief Borders, too, on a 4-yard gain on 3rd and 1.
Again, we talked about the misdirection elements of this offense. They're more traditional elements, but they're the shift in the motion. Had the Rebels scrambling to line up and get lined up before that play even started. And then before you know it, the snap happens and fullback dive right up the middle gets the first down.
Riley today with 4 carries for 40 yards. First and 10 from their own 30-yard line. Marshall motions to the left side of the formation. Now stops, and it's back to the top. Madsen to throw. He throws a wide receiver, a running back screen attempt that is knocked down at the line of scrimmage to Meche Adelea. Almost caught that with his belly.
Yeah, if he would have been able to catch that, he got a big mid on it, dropped down, but couldn't catch it. That would have been a massive turnover. Big-time individual play, redirecting, getting your hand up on that screen attempt. Those kinds of plays are intended to be home run shots in this offense. When they dial up screens, they're intended to be super effective plays. It's a good job by the D lineman getting his hand up there, disrupting it. Win on first down.
Tight end left, 3 receivers and trips to the top of the formation, and Gaines the running back. Takes the handoff right up the middle. Guts to the left side, runs into Mumu bin Wahad, who knocks him back to the inside. Chief Borders and Cohen Fuller finish him off after a 3-yard gain, setting up 3rd and 7. Broncos lead at 14-3 here in the second.
About the 3rd or 4th time we've seen UNLV defensive backs playing as contain or edge defenders. Secondary containment there. Mumu does a great job. Again, the play gets spilled out to him by Chief Borders, and he's there in position to make the tackle one-on-one.
So another 3rd down attempt, this time on 3rd and 7. The Broncos lining it up on the near side hash mark on their own 39-yard line. 2 wide receivers and a tight end to the right. By himself at the bottom of the formation is Penry. Madsen to pass. He throws a slant. It's tipped. It's picked off. Down at the 45-yard line, LaTerrence Welch with his 3rd pick of the year, his first since week 0, and the Rebels turn the ball over first.
And that play is made by Amaris Brown on the inside slant. Slot receiver slant route. Amaris Brown aggressive in coverage. Maddox Madsen tries to fit it in a tight window. Brown's able to get the tip deflected over the top, and Welsh, Johnny on the spot there. Great tip drill play by Welsh to come down with the interception. Would have been a 3rd down stop, but now it's a 4th down turnover. Rebels on the plus side of the 50 already with some momentum seized after the interception. The crowd a little stunned here, probably the quietest it's been for the Rebel offense.
10th pick of the year for UNLV. It is the 15th turnover that they have forced. On 1st and 10, Kevon Lee fumbles the handoff from Anthony Calandria, but is able to recover on the left side. He falls forward to pick up a yard down to the 45-yard line of Boise State. Nearly disaster there on the handoff exchange.
Yeah, and you see the difference in the pace between Kevon Lee and Jaden Thomas. They both have the vision, and I think to find the hole, but there's a second gear that Jaden's able to hit that Kevon Lee just doesn't have in his game, causes that play to go for no gain. I think there was a little more room than that on that left side.
On 2nd and 10, Calandria throws left side, and it's caught on a dive toward the far sideline. Beautiful grab by Day Reynolds, who recorded season highs in receptions and yards last week against Air Force.
And that ball had to be thrown outside. The underneath coverage by that weak side linebacker almost got underneath that hitch route. Good placement, good catch, all hands there by Reynolds. Again, getting UNLV to a manageable 3rd down situation. They've got to convert this one, keep this drive going. They need a touchdown here.
3rd and 3 from the 39-yard line. Calandria out with Elksness and Irvin on the right side of the formation. Handoff goes up the middle to Lee. He's knocked down for a loss of a yard. That one went nowhere fast. It was Bowen Phillips blowing it up again in the backfield. And the Rebels look like they're going to keep the offense out on the field on 4th and 4. Kind of a no man's land in the middle of the field at the 40.
I think that play was designed to go around the outside. Elksness is blocking that to influence the defensive end inside and lead around the corner. Kevon Lee cuts it up inside of that. And that's why Elksness had a little bit to say to Kevon Lee. Trust it. Go outside with it. But here we go. 4th down for UNLV. Jaden Thomas in the game.
UNLV 5 for 7 on 4th down this year. On a broken play, the left tackle, Will Thomas, jumped early. Flags fly everywhere, and it looks like it'll be a false start on the Rebels.
False start, number 72, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
That's one that you cannot have on a 4th down play. They were going back to pass. Now the punt unit comes out onto the field after the 3rd penalty for this UNLV offense in the early stages.
And that's just a shame there that UNLV wasn't able to get anything going on that possession. Again, self-inflicted wounds. I think in the backfield, the communication on that play, Kevon Lee and Elksness, just a misunderstanding on where that play was designed to hit. Obviously, the penalty, again, on a procedural type of penalty, cost the Rebels some yardage and maybe the reason that this drive ends.
Cam Brown out to punt for the 4th time today. Malik Sherrod back at his own 5-yard line. Here's a high kick to the near sideline. Sherrod calls for the fair catch. He drops it. It's picked up by UNLV at the 16. Went right off the chest plate of Malik Sherrod. And UNLV has the ball on a botched punt in the NV Energy red zone. Oh, baby, what a turn of possession there. 14-3 Broncos with 11:01 to go in the first half. UNLV gets a second chance after they were unable to get anything going on that drive.
Special teams has had an impact as of late. The Wyoming game obviously was their welcome party. Game-winning field goal earlier against Miami, Ohio. Great job by the special teams unit coming up with a turnover. We're giving their offense a second chance down here inside the red zone. We'll see if they go quick strike offense.
Nick Elksness was the man who recovered that fumble. Calandria on a design quarterback run goes outside zone left, gets outside of the 20, inside of the 16-yard line, back at the line of scrimmage, and he is twisted out of bounds by Ty Benefield, the safety coming up and stopping Calandria for no gain.
And that's what we're going to say a lot with this Bronco offense. Safety coming up. Safety coming up. Benefield there, a guy who they think has NFL caliber talent, shows the pursuit speed there, able to chase down Calandria. Not many people this season have been able to catch him with the angle to the sideline before he turns the corner.
Calandria actually lost a yard there, so they'll spot him down to the 17-yard line. Anthony, 4 carries for 29 yards so far. 10:30 to go in the first quarter as Calandria drops back to pass, checks it down to Thomas on the left side, throws a shoulder into a defender, and is blown up on the far sideline by Zion Washington. The Frisco, Texas native tackles Jet Thomas at the 14-yard line, and after a 3-yard pickup on 2nd down, sets up a 3rd and 3 for UNLV inside the NV Energy red zone.
Yeah, this is a big-time 3rd down here. I think with the way that this game has gone, you're going to settle for points if you don't pick this 3rd down up if you're Dan Mullen, unless you get a 4th and inches out of this play. But we'll see as the crowd in this end of the end zone is full, and they are getting loud for their Broncos.
With under 10 to go in the quarter, on 3rd and 7, Calandria in an empty backfield. He takes the snap. Broncos sent 4. He rolls to the right through some pressure. He directs traffic. He'll keep it himself to the near sideline. The 15, the 10. He dives pylon. Out of bounds at the 3 is Anthony Calandria. A late penalty comes in after the play as well.
And that's a double penalty. He may be ejected after this game. He just ripped the mouthpiece off of Troy O'Meara and launched it. He got the first flag for throwing O'Meara down.
It's Amarion McCoy.
Amarion McCoy then, after the penalty is thrown, rips the mouthpiece right off the face mask of Troy O'Meara and launches it into the audience.
Whoa. Yeah, O'Meara just had to go get it.
This may be, I don't know how they would assess this. If this is a personal foul towards disqualification, that'd be 2 on the same play, and he'd be ejected. These are objection type offenses here. We'll see how they assess it.
Nolan Dumas, the referee, with the call.
There are 2 fouls after the play, both on number 7 for Boise. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, also unsportsmanlike conduct. That's his first of the game. Both those penalties enforce half the distance to the goal from near the play and automatic. First down.
And that's a strange rule because they address it as 2 separate fouls. The late hit they didn't say as an unsportsmanlike. The mouthpiece throw clearly unsportsmanlike, but they don't count both of them towards ejection. So if they would have assessed that as 2 unsportsmanlike penalties, that could have been an ejection for a Bronco defender, which would have been huge. But either way, it's a great job on third down. Calandria again, second time today, he's used his legs to convert on third down. This one gets him first and goal at the half-yard line, and a golden opportunity for the Rebel offense.
They are on the doorstop at the 1-yard line thanks to the personal foul, maybe 2 from Amarion McCoy. He's out of the game right now. Franklin Johnson is backup in at cornerback. 2 receivers and a tight end left. The running back is Jet Thomas. Handoff, middle, Thomas, end zone! Touchdown, Scarlet and Gray! With 9:33 to go in the second quarter, UNLV finds pay dirt, punches one into the end zone for the first time, 14-9 with the extra point pending.
I hear our fight song, but I don't see our band. What's going on
Someone's
here?
got a heck of a speaker down there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love it. Support on the road for UNLV. They get the end zone for the first time today and draw this game to a 1-possession game, trying to make it 14-10 after the extra point.
Jet Thomas moves all alone in 5th place in the history of UNLV football. Jet Thomas now with 26 rushing touchdowns career. On to try to tack on the extra point is the field goal unit. Ramon Villegas with the hold from Connor Meltzer. Snap down, kick is up, and it is good. And it is a 4-point 1-possession game with 9:33 to go in the second. Boise State 14, UNLV 10. Broncos have the ball next on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
If you're injured in an accident, here are the things that matter. Who you hire matters.
Where they live may seem like it doesn't matter. It matters.
The Richard Harris Law Firm employs over 150 local people.
Trabajamos aquí. We live right here. We know Nevada. We know the courts. And we know how to win.
If you're injured in an accident, who you hire to represent you matters. The Richard Harris Law Firm, 444-4444.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Rebel football presented by West Coast Trial Lawyers, the #1 rated personal injury firm and proud supporters of UNLV athletics. Get the most with West Coast. On a 1-yard touchdown run, Jet Thomas gets UNLV on the scoreboard, and within a possession, it is 14-10 Boise State with 9:33 to go in the second. Let's check in on the Rebel sideline with our very own Steve Cofield.
Report is brought to you by the Southern Nevada Chevy dealers. Big moments there for Nick Elksness, the tight end, not only with the punt fumble recovery, but also a key block on that touchdown run by Jet Thomas. Now we have to keep an eye on Jet Thomas because a couple of plays before the touchdown, he did go down hard on a spinning tackle. Looked like he might have turned the right ankle when he came to the sideline. They were working on the lower part of the right leg. He had a slight limp, so I'll get you updated as soon as I can on Jet Thomas, who has been very active, getting a lot of carries. He's been key. He's going to have to gut it out, it looks like, the rest of the way. Back upstairs to Matt and Caleb.
So far for Jet, 7 carries for 23 yards, and a lot of fans, Caleb, beckoning on social media and otherwise. When are they going to start feeding Jet Thomas early? It seems like today's the day.
I think today is the day, and I figured that this was kind of the season game plan. This is the back half of the season after the bye next week, it's the home stretch. November is when they play the games we remember, and you want Jet healthy and ready to go. I think this game going into the bye, though, is probably the most important on the schedule, and the most important players should be heavily involved, as Jaden Thomas has been so far in this ballgame. Hasn't been able to pop the big one, but his impact has definitely been felt. You can tell that the Bronco players are aware of just how good he is and how familiar he looks. They had a running back in Ashton Genty that had a similar style with that contact balance and was able to make the home run plays and really be the workhorse for the Broncos for the last 3 years. Now Jaden Thomas has reflections or images of that, and the Broncos are fully aware of it. So he's made an impact. Even though he's not touching the ball 100% of the time, you can bet that this defense is aware of him. And I think we'll see a heavy dose, if he's healthy, going the rest of this ballgame.
The Rebels take advantage of 2 Boise State turnovers in quick succession, scoring a touchdown on 4 plays, amassing 16 yards. Caden Costa kicks this one off to Malik Sherrod, grabs it at the goal line, runs to the numbers, on the far side of the 20, and he is tripped up near the 25-yard line. They'll spot Sherrod down at the 24. Boise State heading from right to left to start this drive.
And there's an injured Rebel down on the play. Can't get the number as the training staff was out there so quick to huddle over him, and not sure who that is. Stayed down immediately after the play as the crowd of players left the sideline.
Looks like Osei Basse as they now roll him over. Oh, man, he's in some serious pain as the training staff right on top of the Mountain West logo. Again, looks to be a Basse. We'll double-check that when we get there. I see Vontez Burfict going out there as well and keeping an eye on the injured Rebel. Well, TV's going to take an injury timeout. We'll take it with him. 1st and 10 coming up for the Broncos from their own 24 on the other side. It's Boise State 14, UNLV 10 on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
Parkway Tavern is the official home of the Rebels on the road. With 5 neighborhood taverns, including the newest location next to the M Resort, there's no better place to win with the Rebels. Enjoy $5 Bud Light and Michelob Ultra drafts and $5 Crown Royal and Captain Morgan cocktails during every game all season long. Plus, download the Parkway app and enter promo code BREAKFAST for a free classic breakfast from 12 a.m. to 10 a.m. at any of their 5 Valley locations. Parkway Tavern is a proud partner of your UNLV Rebels. Visit pkwitavern.com or follow them on social media for upcoming events and promotions.
There's something beautiful happening in Las Vegas. Lifeins.com.
Rebel football on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield is presented by Sierra Air Conditioning and Plumbing. They've proudly served the Las Vegas Valley for over 30 years with a strong focus on quality and care. With service that soars above the rest, their highly trained technicians are here for you 24/7 to get the job done right the first time. Find out about their affordable SAM plan, only $16 a month for year-round peace of mind. Call Sierra Air Conditioning and Plumbing today, and let's go UNLV. Rebels trail the Broncos 14-10 as we're back from the injury timeout. It was Bryce Edmondson, the linebacker, who's been getting into the defensive rotation a lot more since getting healthy in the early stages of the season. That was down, walked off to the sideline, didn't immediately go to the tent. And while you hate to speculate, kind of leads you to believe he might have gotten the wind knocked out of him. And you were telling some horror stories during that timeout of some of that times that had happened to you in your playing career.
Yeah, landing on the point of the ball, taking a helmet to the gut. They are now going to take him over to the training tent just to double check. He looks like he wants to stay out on the field and play, but he's going to get looked at as UNLV, after an extended break. The muff punt by Sherrod actually helped the defense take a little bit more of an extended rest on the sideline as the offense finds the end zone for the first time. Defense with a new energy. A little bit more rest, coming out trying to figure out this Bronco offense and get on track. First down success has been an indicator for the success of the Bronco offense. We'll see if UNLV can start this one off with a better defensive stand.
Zay Patterson, the redshirt freshman, takes over for Edmondson out there with Marcel McDuffie. On 1st and 10, the Broncos ready to go from their own 24-yard line. Madsen sends Cam Bates in motion from left to right. He'll toss it left side. That's Dylan Riley. Riley to the outside of the 30. He's into some space at the 40 to midfield on the near sideline at the 40. Makes a man miss. One man has got a chance, and he knocks him out of bounds at the UNLV 12-yard line. From the backside cornerback, Terrence Welch comes through and makes a touchdown-saving stop on a field-flipping run from the sophomore Dylan Riley.
Now we've seen all afternoon UNLV doing a good job of secondary contain. This time UNLV does not get the contain. You can't let that play out leverage you, as there's an injured Rebel down way behind the play up near the original line of scrimmage here. Again, can't see the number on exactly who it is, but UNLV got out leveraged by multiple different players on that stretch play. It's a great adjustment by the Broncos in the run game. Instead of trying to gap scheme and kick out, which the Rebels have been wrong-arming and spilling out to the edge defenders, what I talked about with Elksness on the run for UNLV offensively, they influence the defenders inside, let them take the inside track, and then get around the corner and seal to give their runner the edge. So injured player, looks like it was Amars Brown, who's now up and being helped off the field by UNLV medical staff. He's walking under his own power for the most part, so good to see that. But Amars Brown's been battling injuries the last couple of weeks, was questionable coming in. Now it looks like he's struggling with that injury again. We'll get the word from Steve Cofield a little later on exactly what Amars is dealing with, but that's a massive play on a first down for this Bronco offense. They're within striking distance already, and again, the technical side of what these Broncos do. That's a great offensive adjustment by them, a scheme adjustment in their run game. Instead of kicking out that edge defender, using the leverage, creating the edge for their running back who almost takes it the distance.
Riley for 65 yards on that rush, coming in with 494 yards on the ground and 5 touchdowns. He was the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week 3 weeks ago when Boise State took down Air Force. 14-10 Broncos with 9:17 to go. They are at the Rebel 11-yard line on 1st and 10. Madsen in the squat under center. Henry in motion to the top of the formation. Toss to the right to Malik Sherrod. He cuts it back up the middle. Tries to go all the way to the left side, but he's brought down in the backfield by Jalen Lee for a loss of 2. That little toss sweep had nothing going for it right from the jump.
And that's a much better job by the front four, fighting and resisting leverage. They tried to do the same thing from a blocking scheme standpoint, but UNLV did a better job of getting the edge set, forcing Sherrod to have to cut back. And a negative play on first down for UNLV, trying to hold this drive to a field goal at worst.
Sherrod stays in the game after his first play from scrimmage. He's in the backfield with Madsen under center once again. Man in motion to the left. He'll turn and fake a handoff left side. Madsen rolling right. He's got some space. On a pump fake, he gets around McDuffie to the 10. He'll run it himself as he spins at the 8-yard line. He is cracked by Jake Pope inbounds to keep the clock running. Donovan Spellman held him up. Pope finished him off. Madsen able to pick up something there and get it down to the 8-yard line.
It's a good job by UNLV defensively. I think Madsen had a chance at the crossing route late, but because of the pressure in his face, he had to pump fake just to escape around it. Again, what you're doing as a second-level defender here, you got to find the crossing route. You got to get underneath it and find it. Marcel McDuffie bit on the pump fake and allowed Maddox Madsen to get away, but he's got the quarterback. You got to find the routes and take his options away downfield.
Under 8 to play with the clock winding here in the second quarter. Now it's Sire Gaines, the running back off the left tip, the quarterback Maddox Madsen. 3 receivers all bunched up to the left side of the formation. Wide receiver or tight end Wagner, the only one on the right, and before the play could start, it's blown dead on a timeout called by Dan Mullen.
First from out of the half, UNLV, 30 seconds.
And that's a well-called timeout there. Dan Mullen, I think, realized that what the Broncos were doing offensively there, that was one of those gadget plays that was intended to, at the snap, really confuse defense. That bunch formation with the exit motion, anytime an offense does that, they're trying to create an advantage just based off your alignment and leverage. I think Dan Mullen realized it. He and Paul Gunther on the sideline, maybe working on the headsets, said, hey, this is a new look. We don't have something for this. This isn't what we prepared for. Let's get a timeout here and figure out. This is a big-time third down here. 3rd and 7. The Broncos trying to keep this drive alive to come away with 7. If UNLV can get a defensive stand here and force a 4th down, that would be huge as far as how this drive started. Big-time play to settle in and get a red zone stop. Huge moment for the defense here.
Rebels trying to keep it a 1-possession game. 3rd down and 7 from the 8-yard line. Broncos can pick up a first down if they can get it to the 1. On 3rd and 7, trips to the left again. Same motion as Marshall goes to the bottom of the formation. Madsen drops back, throws right side, complete to Caples. He's in, touchdown. Latrell Caples for the 3rd time this year finds the end zone, and the Broncos up double digits. It is 20-10 with 7:40 to go in the second, and the extra point coming up.
And again, just the exit motion there, essentially what happens is you take the number 3 receiver and you turn him to the number 1 receiver with just that simple motion. That changes the eyes of the defense and what they're supposed to be doing. He just runs a shallow cross across the field. After that motion, he becomes the number 3 receiver, just runs across untouched. And the linebackers don't pass it off appropriately, wide open for a walk-in touchdown.
Colton Boomer to try to tack on the extra point. Kick is up, kick is good. And the Broncos extend their lead to 21-10 with 7:40 to go in the first half. Maddox Madsen throws his 12th touchdown pass of the year. Remember, it was a rushing score on the end around to Cam Bates earlier. Madsen so far on the year with 12 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. And He's one of those guys that is as consistent as any in the conference. He may not be the flashiest, but listen to this. He's completed passes to 7 receivers or more in every single game this year. And coming into today, he has thrown for 200 or more yards in 7 straight games. Madsen, Mr. Dependable, you know what you're going to get from the Boise State quarterback.
I think you're going to get a guy that runs the offense, and he produces what the offense is intended to produce. He doesn't lock in on receivers. He takes what's available to him. He makes the smart decisions, and there is another example of that. Not really doing anything extraordinary, just avoiding taking a sack, getting a 5-yard gain, making third down a little bit more manageable, saving your team in that situation, converting a third down and throwing a touchdown pass. Those are the small little things that Maddox Madsen has been able to do over his career that make him one of the toughest quarterbacks to play against. He knows how to find and take the easy stuff that's presented by the defense. So UNLV has to do a better job defensively. No question about it. They've been struggling all season, but against the Broncos, they're in short order. They give up a big play and then a touchdown right after. Calling that timeout, if you're Dan Mullen, you thought maybe, especially since they ran the same play out of the timeout, that your defense would be adjusted. Their eyes would be in the right place, but not the case. The shallow crosser absolutely got lost by the Rebel defense. That little tiny motion that is done, all it's intended to do is change the eyes of your defense. Who's number 1? Who's number 3? Backside safety. You've got to lock on number 3. Well, number 3 just went on an exit motion, and he's now number 1. Who's the new number 3? I don't know. And that's how you got a guy wide open on the shallow cross for a touchdown. Rebel now offensively have to respond. They were helped out by the special teams unit on the muff punt. Gave them great field position to get their first touchdown of the game. Now they'll have to likely drive the length of the field here. 7:40 to go. Won't be the last possession if UNLV doesn't have a long extended drive like they've had in the past, a double-digit play drive. But if you're UNLV, you've got to score points and make this a one-possession ball game yet again because, again, the Broncos will get the ball to start the third quarter. So you're almost essentially down 2 possessions at this point, even though the scoreboard, even when you score, you still be down 2 possessions because of that extra possession the Broncos will get at the beginning of the second half. So this is about as close to got-to-have-it drive for the Rebel offense. We'll see if they can maintain some of that energy after their first touchdown.
Now, how about this? Boise State's had some big explosive plays. They have 224 yards of total offense, 176 of them on 5 plays alone. They've taken advantage of some big-time chunk gains offensively.
And that's been the case for UNLV's defense all year long. You go back to the Sam Houston game, all of the offense for Sam Houston came on 3 plays, and 2 of them were 4th-and-1 conversions. So UNLV's been gashed before. They've been able to settle in and survive. We'll see if the offense can find a rhythm to try to match the pace of the Boise State offense and help their defense out with a long drive here.
A 4-play drive ending in that touchdown pass to Latrell Caples for Maddox Madsen. 4 plays, 76 yards with 65 of them coming on 1 run from Dylan Riley. 21-10 Broncos as Colton Boomer's kickoff resumes play, and it goes out of the back of that newly constructed corner of the end zone for a touchback. He's been kicking him through the back of the end zone all day long so far. Broncos lead by 11, and as you had mentioned, Caleb, got to have it territory for the Rebels with 7 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the first half. Anthony Calandria, quiet today by his standards, 4 for 7 for just 22 yards passing. He is the leading rusher for UNLV, 39 yards on 5 carries.
The open end of the end zone, the crowd noise won't be as impactful here on this side of the field. First time starting a drive from this far back, so a little bit quieter without that big crowd at his back for Calandria.
3 receivers left. Matt Burns, the tight end on the right of the formation, with Jalen Glover in the backfield for the first time. Wide receiver screen left side, that's caught by D'Angelo Irvin. He falls forward for maybe a yard. Hit emphatically right there by Ty Benefield, the safety in man-on-man coverage.
You got to trust it on that bubble route. That's a good job by Jaden Bradley getting the outside leverage. If you're D'Angelo Irvin, you got to work to get outside of that because the pursuit is coming from the inside. He tries to cut it up in there, and again, the pursuit speed of this defense isn't going to allow for that. You've got to hit it where it's intended to go, get to the sideline there.
They'll give Irvin 2 yards, setting up a 2nd down and 8. Glover fakes the handoff. Rolling to the right is Calandria. He looks back to the far side of the field. He airs it up deep. Caught at midfield by D'Angelo Irvin as he goes out of bounds in Boise territory.
That is a great job by Calandria, just drifting just enough to create some time to get that route to develop. Little post concept with the flood route on the underneath side, and D'Angelo Irvin gets his first big reception of the ball game. It's a good job by the Rebel offense creating the deep play. First real explosive in the passing game.
First and 10 from the Bronco 46-yard line. Calandria takes the snap, looks left side, checks it down to Glover, catches it at the line of scrimmage, runs over a defender and goes out of bounds at the 40. He just blew up Jeremiah Irby, who's slow to get up. Glover just ran him over. Train coming down the tracks.
Yeah, that was a violent collision there by Glover. It doesn't get a lot of reps in the backfield with Kevon Lee and Jaden Thomas having the bulk. But UNLV has one of the deepest running back rooms in the country when you think about it. Jalen Glover more than capable of being a number one running back. There he shows why. Just absolutely hitting the truck stick on the sideline. My goodness, that's the way to finish the run as a running back.
He knew he was going out of bounds, so he may as well inflict some damage on the way, right?
And that's one of the things. Football is a violent game played by violent people. You got to be willing to throw your hat in with some of that violent stuff. Glover there, one of the few opportunities he's gotten as a running back, lowers the shoulder and lowers the boom. And that was an exciting finish on that Rebel sideline. Got the boys jumping and hooting and hollering there a little bit. Had the crowd oohing and on as well here on the road. They realized what just happened. But a good start to this drive for UNLV. 2nd down and 6 now after that completion. Looks like Calandria may have found a little bit of a rhythm here to start this one.
Irby goes straight to the medical tent. That, by the way, the first catch for Jalen Glover since that Week 0 matchup against Idaho State. 2nd down and 5. Rebels trail 21-10 here at the end of the second quarter. Pitch right. Glover's got it. He gets to the 40-yard line at the numbers to the near sideline. Falls forward and is twisted down by Bowen Phelps, who's been all over the place. They're going to spot him a half a yard short of the line to gain. Brings up 4th and a short yard for the Rebels. Or 3rd and a short yard, rather. Rebels are going to go to the huddle. They want to talk this one over with 6 minutes and counting to play in the second quarter. They trail 11. And as we've been saying this entire drive, they need a touchdown. Points are great. Touchdowns even better. On 3rd and a yard, 2 receivers break the huddle heading to the top of the formation. Trey O'Meara, the only receiver at the bottom. He now motions to the left side. Calandria is going to keep it himself. He runs left side, gets to the 35-yard line, breaks a tackle, dives for the first down. He goes out of bounds, picks it up. Calandria does it himself. We've seen that all season long.
Great job by Calandria, individual effort. A good job by O'Meara as well. He could have easily been called for a hold there. He got his hands out of the cookie jar right at the right moment. And because of the leverage he had, I think is the only reason they didn't throw the flag there. Really a tough one there for UNLV. I know Boise State fans are probably going to be upset about that one in hindsight, but great individual effort by Calandria, again, converting on 3rd down with his legs.
1st down and 10 from the 35-yard line. Calandria fakes a handoff, drops back to pass, airs one deep, looking for Bradley. He's got it! Touchdown, Scarlet and Gray! What a catch by Jaden Bradley. Over 2 defenders, he hauls in his 3rd touchdown of the season, and the Rebels back within a possession. One of those grabs where all you can say is wow.
Go up and get it. Jaden Bradley, we used to call that getting dunked on. That's what happens when you give your receiver a chance. Big play receiver make big time plays, and they're taking a look at it. All scoring plays are reviewed, and it is going to be confirmed as they're allowing this point after be teed up. What a catch by Jaden Bradley over the top of everybody.
Unbelievable. Nowadays they say you got mossed. 21-16. Here's the extra point from Ramon Villeja. It is up and it is good. Rebels back within 4 points. 21-17 with 5:09 to go. A 6-play, 75-yard drive, rattling off 2 minutes and 31 seconds, ending on that 35-yard pitch and catch from Calandria to his favorite target, Jaden Bradley.
And we got a chance again to hear the fight song, and I will stand corrected. The band has made the trip here. I couldn't see them because they're underneath us in the press box. The UNLV section is off to our left underneath us, so we couldn't really see the band. I just heard the music, which sounded so beautiful to my ears. That fight song winning with the Rebels here as Rebels get their 2nd touchdown. They strike up the band once again. This time Calandria with a deep connection. Passing game really got rolling on that possession, and that's exactly what needed to happen. The safeties have been having their nose at the line of scrimmage, and the Rebels able to connect over the top after some play-action passes. Calandria found a rhythm there, and UNLV responds as they needed to, making this a one-possession game in quick order.
You and I earlier kind of had a unison Pavlovian response when we heard the fight song. We kind of stopped at our tracks. Where's that coming from? It is the band that made the trek all the way up to the Smurf turf. They call it the Blue of Boise, Idaho. 21-17 as Anthony Calandria finds Bradley for the first touchdown of the day through the air. Anthony now 8 of 11 passing for 91 yards and a touchdown, his 13th pass of the year. Back in his own end zone to receive the upcoming kickoff is Malik Sherrod. Caden Costa kicks one high. He kicks it shallow, and Sherrod grabs it on the Broncos logo in the end zone. He'll take a knee, and that'll go as a touchback for Boise State. So they've got 5 minutes and 9 seconds. They also have all 3 timeouts, and they will get the ball coming out of the halftime break. You would expect a long, methodical attempt of a drive here from the Broncos,
yeah,
right?
I think the Broncos are going to be willing to slow down the pace quite a bit on this possession, trying to make this, if they can, the last possession of the first half, which obviously UNLV will have something to say about that. They probably want to get their offense another shot before the halftime.
Maddox Madsen, 5 of 11 passing, 75 yards, a touchdown, and an interception so far. From the 25 on the near side hash, ball snapped to the quarterback. He fakes the handoff and rolls to the right. Throws it deep off the back foot. That's caught at midfield and down in the 49 or in Rebel territory. That's Cameron Bates, who had the rushing touchdown earlier, and a 27-yard explosion of a play gets the Broncos into the plus side of the field just like that.
And that's just poor defense there. Undecided on whether he wanted to go with the motion. Amaris Brown kind of slow played it on that motion. We've seen that motion before, but Amaris just lets the leverage happen, and the motion guy ends up wheeling up the sideline, leaving him in the dust, and could have been a touchdown if Madsen puts it out there. Another explosive play for the Bronco offense.
From the Rebel 49-yard line, Maddox Madsen calls for the snap out of the shotgun. He'll hand it off to Dylan Riley inside zone right. He's got a gap of the 40 to the 30. He's on the far sideline of the 20, 10, touchdown. So forget taking 5 minutes plus off the clock. Boise State on 2 plays finds the end zone. Dylan Riley, for the first time today and the 6th time this year, scores a rushing touchdown. And as quickly as that was a one-possession game, it is now back to double digits, 27-17 with the extra point unit coming out. Dylan Riley with 5 carries for 149 yards. Rebels getting gashed in the run game here in the first half. On the extra point, a low snap held by the punter Oscar Doyle, and the kick from Colton Boomer is good. 28-17 Boise State with 4:24 to go. The team's exchanging points and touchdowns here at the end of the first half.
Yeah, we anticipated maybe this would be a high-scoring game. UNLV defensively has got to figure something out to at least give their offense a chance in the shootout. They're playing from behind now, but Rebel defense is just all out of sorts here as the game starts to wear on. It looks like the Broncos have absolutely changed the strategy. They're not playing from under center as of late. The last 2 possessions, they're not giving UNLV traditional looks anymore. They're spreading it out and showing how versatile this offense can be. They're making smart adjustments with this experienced offensive line. The blocking scheme is completely flipped. It's not just normal gap scheme plays that the Broncos are running. They're using motion and leverage to create extra gaps, to take away gaps, and get the linebackers and that second-level defense out of position, and that's why they're getting gashed at such a high clip. Great job by the Broncos. Got to tip your hat to this offense. You see why this system and why this offense, especially under Maddox Madsen, has been so elite over the past few seasons. They have a structure, and they are disciplined with that structure. UNLV right now has not been able to match that on the defensive side.
Broncos with 299 yards of total offense to UNLV's 171. The glaring advantage for the home side lies in the rushing yards. 198 for the Broncos, just 80 for UNLV. Boise State on top by 11 at 28-17 with 4:24 to go in the second. And the kickoff and kick return units out there with Jalen Glover back on the north end zone to our left, ready to receive the upcoming kickoff. Here comes Colton Boomer. Boot meets ball. And a high end-over-end kick goes out of the back of the end zone once more. So now question for UNLV becomes, do you go traditional 4-minute drill, or do you try to score quickly, hopefully forcing a stop and maybe get a second possession?
I think what you want to do if you're the Rebel offense, you want to create additional possessions. So that means your tempo is probably going to pick up for the rest of this ball game either way. So I don't see this being a 4-minute drive offense. It could very well be, just to stop the bleeding on your defense, get them off the field and on the sideline, and let them have an opportunity to regroup. So you may go 4-minute offense here. But you want to create as many possessions as possible as the game starts to wind down.
Rebels have 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout coming up. Calandria under center, play action left. He sets the feet. He looks for his options. He's going to run it himself. He tucks it, gets to the 30 at the middle of the field, cuts to the top, gets a block at the 40. He's to the numbers at midfield. Jukes out of bounds and is spun out of bounds in Boise State territory. Down to the 49-yard line goes Calandria. That's one way to start the drive on a 26-yard scamper.
Creating plays with his legs. He's had the biggest impact today with those legs. That's another big gain and explosive play for your offense by Calandria. Just making guys miss, cutting all the way across the field. Massive play by the reigning Offensive Player of the Week in the Mountain West.
Good block down the field as well by JoJo Earl. Offensive coordinators everywhere loving what they see on that play. Calandria in the pistol with Thomas behind him. Fakes the handoff left. He's pressured from the right. He can't get down, and he is sacked. Jaden Mickey on the cornerback blitz brings down Calandria on first down. Second time he's been sacked this afternoon.
Yeah, you just got to be able to identify that pressure. It's a wide smash coming against the trips. That play is obvious. Safety tilts telling you where that blitz is going to come from. You have to either be aware that you got to get out of that, get yourself protected, or just get rid of the ball quickly. Calandria tries to make a heroic effort to get around the corner and ends up giving just about all of the yardage that he gained on the explosive play back in one play.
First sack of the year for Mickey on his second tackle for loss. 2nd and 21 as Calandria on a tight end screen flips it out left side. Caught by Elksness at the 40. Jukes inside to get up a couple extra yards and is gang tackled at the UNLV 46-yard line. Getting back near the original line of scrimmage, but it sets up third and about 15 yards as Zion Washington, the safety for Boise State, is down on the field injured.
And that play just intended to, like you said, try to get up near the original line of scrimmage, get some of that yardage back after the sack, but not even doing a good job of doing that. 7 yards away, so it's going to be about 3rd and 15 here for the Rebel offense, and you don't really have many plays designed for 3rd and 15. Obviously, what Calandria is able to do with his legs, you have a shot at this.
You never know,
Just say you never know, but again, you don't want to risk further damage in this game by trying to get too aggressive going for this 3rd and 15. Maybe there's a line of thinking where you say, we're not going to go for 3rd and 15. We're going to try to maybe get 6 or 7 of this back and potentially go for it on 4th and a long 8. So that could be the dilemma that Coach Mullen's discussing, and Corey Dennis trying to figure out exactly how he wants to go about that if this is go-for-it time for UNLV offensively. However, 2:49 to go is plenty of time, especially with how explosive and lightning quick the Bronco offense has been in the first half of this ball game. If they get possession with good field position, you worry about adding insult to injury, and real quickly this game could get away from you here if you're UNLV and you don't get a 4th down conversion. So got to be really careful with the way you manage this situation. I know you want to be aggressive at all times, but because of that sack taken, I think you really have to play the situation here. I'd say keep the ball on the ground or in bounds here for sure to get the clock running. I wouldn't want to give the ball back to the Broncos on the plus side of the 2-minute timeout. So we'll see if that's the thinking for UNLV or if they decide to get aggressive and go for the big play and try to convert on this Raising Cane's 3rd down.
And with 2:49 to go in the half, Boise State also, if they get a stop here on 3rd, would likely call the timeout and use that 2-minute timeout as an additional one. But we will see. 28-17 Broncos. And as the teams break the huddle, the clock starts to wind. So the Rebels, if they play this right, could use this as the last play before the 2-minute timeout. Calandria's got a tight end left, trips receivers to the right. On play action, he'll throw to the right side. Caught by Reynolds at midfield, jukes it back to the inside. Marco Notriani brings him down at the Boise State 46-yard line. So the Rebels have a choice here to make. 4th down and a long 7. And as of right now, the offense staying out onto the field, although the special teams groups lining up, bunching up, and now it'll be the punt unit to come on for the Rebels.
And again, I wouldn't snap this before the 2-minute timeout if I was the Rebels. I'd let this go past the 2-minute timeout if you can. 17 on the play clock. Looks like it's going to go to the 2-minute timeout.
Yeah, they will take this one down to the 2-minute stoppage. 28-17 Boise State. Watching as the Rebels send the punt unit out onto the field, but now some more discussions are going to go on that UNLV sideline. 2 minutes to go in the half. Boise State leads 28-17. 4th and 8 coming up for the Rebels on the other side. This is the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
Wake up with Graney and Bischoff on the Press Box. Weekday mornings starting at 7 on ESPN Las Vegas, 1100 AM and 100.9 FM, KWWN Las Vegas.
It's not about the injury.
If
you've been in a motorcycle accident, remember, it's not about the injury, it's about the recovery. Hi, this is Paul Pata from Paul Pata Law. You know, motorcycle accidents can be complex, and that's when you need an attorney that understands the unique challenges of a motorcycle accident case. At Paul Pata Law, we'll guide you through the journey of recovering physically, emotionally, and financially. Check us out at paulpatalaw.com or call us at 702-707-3000.
Ditch the burgers and fries and go Greek. Stefano's Greek and Mediterranean Grill with 4 valley-wide locations. Hungry for something new? Try our fresh, never frozen Mediterranean salmon. Enjoy Greek lemon potato waffles served with our delicious tzatziki sauce. Cool off with our ice-cold, authentic Greek frappes. Discover your new favorites at Stefano's. Order online or off the app. That's stefanoslv.com. Stefano's, since 1998. Real food, real fast, real healthy.
One of the most anticipated events of the year is headed to Allegiant Stadium on October 25th. The P&G HBCU Las Vegas Classic, presented by the Stephen Lackey family of companies, will match perennial HBCU-powered Jackson State against one of HBCU's most storied programs in Grambling. And it's so much more than a football game. A weekend full of events and a halftime show with those 2 legendary bands will make for an unforgettable experience. Get your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com. Coming out of the 2-minute timeout here in quarter number 2, UNLV trails Boise State 28-17, and they'll break the huddle with the punt unit jogging back out on 4th and 8. It'll be the 5th time today that we've seen Cam Brown. The Rebels did force a turnover on a Malik Sherrod botched punt return. We'll see if that happens here as Sherrod heads back to his own 6-yard line, and Cam Brown will try to pin the Broncos deep with 2 minutes exactly to play. Broncos up by 11, still have all 3 timeouts as well, and they get the ball coming out of the halftime break. Coming up on our halftime show, Steve Cofield will get a chance to grab Dan Mullen as he heads to the locker room. We'll check in on our out-of-town scores. First half stats also brought to you by IBEW and NECA. We'll also sit down with the founding chair of a Rebel football cabinet. That's Blake Sartini, CEO of Golden Entertainment. Should be a fun halftime show. The Rebels trying to keep the score at the very least where it is, trailing 28-17. Ball spotted on the 46-yard line on the plus side of the field. And from the near side hash, long snapper Andrew McElwam sends it back to Cam Brown. 2 steps to the right for the Aussie. He sends one high with backspin towards the near sideline. That takes a bounce at the 5 and spins into the end zone for a touchback. Nearly able to knock that one down was Caden McGee, but it bounced right over his head, and the Broncos with a $1:52 to go take over after the touchback.
McGee's in position. We've seen this year him be able to just catch that ball on the run. That would have been a tough adjustment for a gunner there. He had no idea where the ball was until it was way too late. Great punt by Cam Brown. Putting it inside the 5, but just skitters into the end zone. Broncos will start at the 20-yard line. Rebel defense, probably the biggest drive so far as situational football. Got to come up with a way to keep the Broncos from adding to this lead.
For what it's worth, that's just the 2nd touchback of the year for the freshman punter, Cam Brown. Madsen from the 20-yard line takes the snap, hands it up to Riley up the middle. He gets blown up by Andrew Paldrell. He came in from the outside on the top of the formation and knocks down the running back after a gain of 1.
Broncos going quick, get back up to the line of scrimmage. Got to get lined up. They got 2-on-1 to the boundary right now.
They still have all 3 timeouts with 1:35 to go in the half. Madsen takes the snap. He's pressured. He breaks a tackle and rolls to the right side of the formation. Throw over the middle of the field. That's caught at the 25 and then dropped. Is it a catch and a drop or an incompletion? They're saying no catch, incomplete pass.
And that should get reviewed by the officials upstairs. I think he made a football move with that ball as he's trying to break the tackle. I think that got punched out. It should be an incomplete pass. They are marking it back to the 22. I think that may have been a catch and fumble here. Don't know if the replay officials will initiate a review. It looked like he caught that and made a football move before it was punched out by a Rebel defender.
Still no inclination on the field as it was Dylan Riley, the running back, that had it knocked out.
And they're actually going to, I think, let it stand as an incomplete pass here. Rebels bring up 3rd down.
Boise State gets back to the line. Madsen tries a hard count, but nobody bites. Clock stops with 87 seconds remaining in the first half, I should say. And a timeout called by the Broncos before they can get that snap off with the play clock winding down.
And this now opens up an opportunity. If you're the Rebel defense on this Raising Cane's 3rd down, you get a stop. With the way your offense can get going, got a couple timeouts in your pocket as well. UNLV might try to be aggressive here if they can get this 3rd down stop. Obviously, the business at hand defensively, you don't want to assume anything. A 3rd down stop is where you need to be focused, need to be locked in on your assignment. Rebels looked like they were going to play coverage there, only rushing 4. Missed opportunity at a sack on that 2nd down play would have been crucial. However, the clock did stop with the incompletion. Now with the Broncos calling their second timeout of the half, and looks like UNLV will have an opportunity. The first timeout of the half for the Broncos called there. Looks like UNLV is playing to get their offense an opportunity before the end of the half.
Everybody dropping back. Only 4 men in the box for the Rebels. Broncos 3 out of 5 on third down today. 3rd and 8 from their own 22. A Raising Cane's third down. Madsen back to pass. He looks middle. He's pressured to the left. He sets the feet, fires to the near sideline. Incomplete on a throwaway. And the Rebels force a 3-and-out defensively. Not only that, but they keep time on the clock. With 1:21 to go, they've got 2 timeouts as the Broncos send their punt unit out onto the field.
Broncos only tick off 30 seconds of game time there on the clock, and the clock is stopped due to the incompletions. So they can't even bleed the clock here as the special teams unit for both teams comes out onto the field. We'll see how UNLV decides to attack this if they go after block. We know their special teams unit is plenty capable.
Broncos spread out wide on the punt coverage. And rolling to the right is Oscar Doyle. He gets this one away. D'Angelo Irvin calls for the fair catch at the 33-yard line. He grabs it right in the middle of the field. So UNLV is going to have a chance here. Remember, Broncos get the ball coming out of the halftime break. 28-17 Boise State with 1 minute and 15 seconds left. The Rebels have 2 timeouts to try to get just under 70 yards before the halftime break.
And not even just 70 yards. Even a field goal here makes you feel a lot better about the way the first half has gone so far. You make it a 1-possession game, at least if you can get in the field goal range. We'll see how they decide to attack this on first down. Again, your whole offense is open with 2 timeouts right now. Don't be afraid to run the ball into a light box if you get it, if you're Anthony Calandria. But here we go. A big-time moment here for this Rebel offense.
UNLV sends 4 receivers to the right side of the formation. Kevon Lee, the running back. Wide receiver screen to the right side. Complete to Irvin. Breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Gets to the 40. Nobody to beat at midfield. He's at the 40. The 30 on the near sideline. To the 20. The 15. He is knocked down inside the 10. D'Angelo Irvin Jr. with his longest reception of the year. And the Rebels down to the 6-yard line with 64 seconds left in the second. Irvin looked like he was headed to the end zone. Great job by Jeremiah Irby coming in from the backside to prevent a touchdown. Rebels go into the huddle here. 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. They're inside the NV Energy red zone. 60 yards on the catch from Irvin. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Calandria on a play action. Throws it over the middle. Caught by Bradley at the 1, but he drops it. He had a defender draped on his back, and on a low throw, Bradley caught it, but Irby in man-on-man coverage punched it out.
It's a good placement, actually, on that throw. The rule as a quarterback is low on the front line, high on the back line when you're talking about end-zone throws. That was where you want it for the receiver to be able to protect himself, kind of cradle the ball as he goes to the ground. Short of the goal line is where he would have made the catch, but the incompletion will stop the clock. 2nd and goal from the 7 here for the Rebel offense.
59 seconds to go in the first half. Bradley to the outside on the left. Coy Moore in the slot. Day-Day Reynolds by himself on the right side of the formation. Calandria on 2nd and goal. Takes the snap. He'll look to pass. Looks to the top of the formation. He throws end zone on the corner route. Incomplete. Coy Moore the intended target, and there's a penalty out in the end zone.
And that is the right call. The crowd doesn't like it, but that is absolutely the right call. Over aggression in the secondary. Calandria just gives his receiver a safe chance. He throws that away from harm's way. Definitely contact on the throw.
Pass interference, number 0, defense. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic. First down.
That's on Ty Benefield, the 4th penalty of the first half for the Broncos.
And it's the right call. I think there's an aggressive coverage. He's holding Bradley the entire route, and he just mauls him the entire time. That's Coy Moore, the intended receiver there. He's just getting mauled from the line of scrimmage there. Ball's in the air. At least you got to let him go, but Coy Moore unable to separate, but the flag is thrown. Rebels will have 4 cracks at it here from inside the 5.
1st and goal from the 2 with 54 seconds to go. Calandria goes under center directing traffic. Elksness motions to the right. Lee in the backfield takes the handoff off the right side. Runs into a tackler at the line of scrimmage, and he is dropped. Jaden Virgin Morgan, one of the best edge rushers in college football, blew that play up as Boise State takes a timeout. 48 seconds to play in the half.
Yeah, I don't think that UNLV offensive line really gave up leverage, but just the flow of the defense is able to get there before Kevon Lee can get going. And I think, again, you talk about the difference. Both running backs are great, and I'm not at all disparaging Kevon Lee, but his style of running, there's not as much explosion at the hole. And I think Jaden Thomas has a little bit more of an explosive run, but you're caught between a rock and a hard place. You know that Kevon Lee is the stronger of the backs. You know that he's the bigger, short yardage situation type of running back, but Jaden Thomas sometimes can hit the hole with a pace that I think helps against this type of speedy defense. The reaction time of the Broncos defense, this disciplined defense with a lot of veteran experience out there, is just reacting so quickly to the play that Kevon Lee's pace isn't as good in these situations as maybe Jaden Thomas's is. The mix between them both is Jalen Glover. He's a guy that has the explosion as well as the physicality, as we saw earlier in this ball game. Hasn't got an opportunity in this short yardage situation as Jaden Thomas now checks into the ball game for the Rebels.
Here we go. Lee lost a yard on that play, so it's 2nd and goal from the 3.
It should be second. The down marker on the field says that now they've corrected it. It is 2nd down from the 3.
So Thomas on the left tip of Calandria in the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. And before the play can start, it is blown dead on a penalty.
It's like Elksness flinched.
Crowd the snap. False start. Ready for offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
So from 1st and goal on the 2-yard line, now it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 8.
And this is what the silent cadence can do. You know, the crowd noise is there, the function on the offensive line. But Elksness is used to running that play with a certain timing in terms of his motion into action. There's a little bit of a pause because the mechanics of getting the guard to tap the center to acknowledge it, and then get the snap. You got to be aware of that as an offensive player, especially when you're going in motion. You got to be aware that it's going to be a tick longer before the ball snap. Hold your water.
Rebels to the line of scrimmage at the 8-yard line on 2nd down and goal. And before this play starts, it's blown dead. Looked like somebody called a timeout. Nolan Dumas, the referee, to tell us what's going on.
Game clock to 48 seconds. We'll start on the snap.
Oh, they took time off the clock and forgot to put it back.
No, the clock was running.
Wow.
During that exchange. They're going to put 20 more seconds. That whole time, after the penalty on Elksness, the clock started running. And it was a dead ball before that, so the clock should be running after the penalty. Good catch. They caught it 20 seconds too late.
Yeah,
but
really.
And forced the Rebels to kind of show their hand on the 2nd down play. And now everybody in the building kind of knows what UNLV is intended to do with this 2nd down play.
And not like last week where they were adding a second on every play down that final sequence. 2nd and goal from the 8 once more. Rebels trail 28-17. Thomas in the backfield. Calandria drops back. Design quarterback run. He's at the 5. End zone. Touchdown. Garland and Gray. Anthony Calandria leaps over the goal line. And this is a 1-score game with 43 seconds left in the first half. 4th rushing touchdown of the year for Anthony Calandria. And the reigning conference offensive player of the week has made it 28-23.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially engaged in a shootout. Both of these offenses putting up points in bunches. 23 with the extra point pending for the Rebels.
Snap, hold, kick, all good. And it makes it a 28-24 game, again with 43 seconds left. And with that touchdown, the Rebels have now scored 20 or more points in 29 consecutive regular season games. That's the 2nd longest active streak in college football, trailing only Memphis. UNLV has scored 30 or more in every game. They put up a 50-burger last week against Air Force. If there are issues on this team, it is not the offense here in 2025.
Yeah, and this is just situational football now. That is a great fortuitous job of complementary football there by UNLV. UNLV's defense hasn't been able to get a stop all day. They got to stop at a key moment and forced a 3 and out and gave their offense another opportunity, created a possession there at the end. And Boise State was ultra aggressive, throwing the ball 2 times with incomplete passes that stopped the clock for UNLV and gave them the opportunity to make this a 1-possession game. And the Broncos looking back at that, they might be thinking that was a mismanaged situation there where they gave up the points before the half.
28-24, UNLV on top, or rather trailing with 43 seconds to go in the half. Rebels evening up the total yardage as well. Boise State with 301 yards, 267 now for UNLV. Scoring on a 8-yard touchdown run from Anthony Calandria. 5-play drive, getting 67 yards in just 30 seconds. And the defense doing what it did. Perfect timing for UNLV to score 6.
There's a little bit of a discrepancy with the timeouts here. Not sure UNLV called a timeout on their last drive.
Caden Costa's kickoff. That'll go to Malik Sharon in the end zone. He wanted to take it out, but ended up taking a knee for a touchback. Yeah, looking up at the scoreboard, UNLV should have 2 timeouts.
And Broncos should have 1.
Yes.
The UNLV didn't call the timeout on that last drive. And hopefully the officials on the field know that could turn out to be a big deal. 43 seconds here. The Broncos should only have 1 timeout in their pocket, and that would definitely impact the way that they approach this drive. And we'll see if they have it figured out on the field. They should not have 2 timeouts. The Broncos called the only timeout on that previous possession, trying to preserve some time.
From the 25-yard line, Maddox Madsen's going to take the snap, standing on the far side hash mark. He'll give it right up the middle to Riley. He runs through Tunmise Adelea, but Marcel McDuffie and Osei Igbase come in to fill the gap and stop him after a gain of 6. And the Broncos going to let this one wind down, likely taking it to halftime here with 30 seconds and counting to play. So the timeouts may not matter here.
Yeah, it looks like the Broncos, again, are going to be content. Probably what they should have done on the last possession. Had it under the 2-minute timeout and decided to try to be aggressive. And now this time, they're going to stop the bleeding. The fans out here at Albert Stadium are displeased with this. They feel like they need to be stepping on the gas here going into the locker room. And I got to agree here with the Broncos' decision. I know as a fan, you think you're unstoppable as an offense, but I think that's the right decision. The Rebels found some momentum to close out the half. You don't want to add to that bleeding here going into the locker room. Enjoying a 4-point lead is better than creating a disaster being too aggressive offensively. And I think that's the right decision. Boy, what a ball game we've had through 2 quarters right now as we wait for Steve Cofield to catch Coach Mullen on the way to the locker room. Rebels find a way to get back in this ballgame. Doesn't feel like it's this close of a game, but 28-24 going into the halftime locker room is a good situation for UNLV, who has been known to play 2 different halves of football, and it looks like Steve Cofield's finally able to catch up with Dan Mullen down on the sideline.
All right, we've got Dan Mullen here. So your defense finally came up big, setting you up for that final score. What do you need from the D to stop the run?
Yeah, we just got to be better defensively. We're going to have explosive play after explosive play, bad fits. We got to make sure we're coaching our guys right to be in the right gaps right now. And, we're not doing a great job coaching defensively right now. We got to make sure we're better there.
All right, offensively, you put a lot of yards, put some points up on the board. You just nodded like, well, we can do better.
Yeah, they're showing us a lot of new looks, a lot of new blitz looks they haven't shown before. And I think our guys did a good job creating some adjustments to attack those different blitzes.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
There he is, Dan Mullen at the half conversation, brought to you by your Southern Nevada Chevy dealers. Back upstairs for halftime with Matt and Caleb.
28-24, the halftime score. UNLV trails Boise State, who will get the ball coming out of the halftime pause. Plenty to come here on our halftime show, presented by IBEW Anika. We'll have our first half stats on the other side. We'll also sit down with the founding chair of the Rebel Football Cabinet, Mr. Blake Sartini, CEO of Golden Entertainment. Rebels down by 4 in a shootout, a tight game here on the Smurf turf at Albertson Stadium. We'll be back with the halftime show next on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
We love the thrill of a game-winning drive. And when it comes to exploring the wild side of Nevada, we've got a few epic drives of our own. Road trips to fill your heart. Hot springs, ghost towns, desert art. Destinations a world apart. So go on, get a little out there, and experience all that the Silver State has to offer. Start planning your trip at travelnevada.com.
Yes, man can. Yes, man can.
This season, UNLV Athletics and Yes Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing are teaming up for home comfort savings. Call the pros at Yes and take $100 off any heating, cooling, or plumbing repair. Yes Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, official partner of UNLV Athletics. Just say yes and call 702-888-4937 to schedule your appointment today. Visit theyesmancan.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 71246, 71233, 87262, EAS 0074696.
Parkway Tavern is the official home of the Rebels on the road. With 5 neighborhood taverns, including the newest location next to the M Resort, there's no better place to win with the Rebels. Enjoy $5 Bud Light and Michelob Ultra drafts and $5 Crown Royal and Captain Morgan cocktails during every game all season long. Plus, download the Parkway app and enter promo code BREAKFAST for a free classic breakfast from 12 a.m. to 10 a.m. at any of their 5 Valley locations. Parkway Tavern is a proud partner of your UNLV Rebels. Visit pkwitavern.com or follow them on social media for upcoming events and promotions.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong, you are fearless, you are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory, a force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
This is Rebels Halftime, brought to you by the Unionized Electrical Industry, IBEW Local 357, and Southern Nevada NECA, your Las Vegas power professionals.
UNLV trails Boise State 28-24 back at halftime here from Albertson Stadium. It's been a fun first half, Kayla. Anthony Calandria doing things with his arm and with his legs. 11 of 16 passing, 165 yards and a passing touchdown, I should say. He's also the leading rusher for UNLV. 9 carries, 64 yards, and a score on the ground. His 4th rushing touchdown of the year. Calandria started slow, but maintained his typical efficiency towards the end of that half.
Yeah, I think what you saw from UNLV was the ability to generate explosive plays against this defense. The Broncos, to their credit, on the defensive side are struggling in the secondary, but they're playing within the early downs, sound defensive football. And you mentioned, well, Coach Mullen mentioned going into the locker room, they've shown some exotic blitzes maybe that they haven't shown. And they're not a team that likes to bring pressure. We talked about that in the pregame as well, but they created pressure at timely situations to create negative plays. And when it comes to trying to have these long extended drives that UNLV's been accustomed to having offensively, it just hasn't able to been manifested yet in the first half. So the Rebels flipped the script and found some explosive plays in the passing game. Really 3 plays created all the explosion for the Rebel offense, and they were all passes downfield. D'Angelo Irvin having himself the best game of the year so far. Had a big reception on the flood route, and then the big one there before the 2-minute drill to get that drive going on that wide receiver screen there. 60-yarder, gets the Rebels in scoring position. Jaden Bradley obviously going up over the top of everybody. Really adds to the yardage total and really makes it a little more even on paper going into the locker room. UNLV will have to figure some things out. Most of the figuring out will have to come on the defensive side of the football. Obviously, Paul Gunther and that defense are going to have to figure some things out to slow this Bronco offense down. But the Rebel offense gives them a chance. 24-28 is the deficit right now for UNLV. And with the way that first half went, with the explosive plays the Broncos were able to generate, it feels like it should be a bigger deficit that the Rebels are facing right now. They've been down bigger than this to other teams throughout the season at halftime. They're going to figure it out in the second half, and we'll see if they can put together the best 30 minutes of football on the other side of the halftime break.
They're going to need to, and the defense will get a chance right out of the locker room with Boise State getting the ball to start the third quarter. Coming up on our halftime show presented by IBEW and NECA, we'll be joined by one of the founding chairmen of the UNLV Rebel Football Cabinet. A lot of the NIL and a lot of the big-time coaching moves that have been made in the past have been made in part by this man, Mr. Blake Sartini, the CEO of Golden Entertainment. Got a chance to sit down with him and talk about what that looks like for UNLV and what the Rebel Football Cabinet has plans for in the future. Blake Sartini, our guest on the other side, back from Albertson Stadium in a moment on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious with multiple engine options and impressive towing. While Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability, making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. See your Southern Nevada Chevy dealers.
When you need cash, how quickly can LendingStore.com connect you to a lender faster than this commercial? Whether you need cash for a medical bill, groceries, or rent, LendingStore.com's network of lenders makes it quick and easy. In less time than this ad, you can fill out a few fields at LendingStore.com and find out if a lender can get you $500 to $5,000 as early as tomorrow. So visit LendingStore.com today for details. See website for details. Lending Store is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the university and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by the university.
Back from Albertson Stadium, it's halftime as UNLV tries to take down Boise State. Joined here on our halftime show presented by IBEW and NICA. And Blake, as founding chair and a UNLV alum yourself, what was the personal motivation for you to step up and lead the growth of the Rebel football cabinet as you try to build some momentum throughout this season?
Well, first, thanks for having me. It's time. I think the short answer is it's time. After the success of the football program the last 2 years, prior to this year in particular, and Coach Odom, getting the football program back on a national stage, and frankly, the new landscape, the NIL landscape, which allows a competitive player landscape for schools. It's time for the community to bring big-time football to Las Vegas, to Allegiant Stadium. And really it started, and the reason I got involved at the level that I have is the university continued the momentum of Coach Odom in the last 2 years and went out and found one of the highest quality coaches in the country, one of the most high-profile coaches in the country. The university and the athletic department committed to continue this. So as a result, we felt, and leaders within this community felt, it was time to continue this and build it to the next step.
And for you as a Las Vegas native, this is almost personal, this kind of momentum and this movement. Clark graduate, you stayed in town, you were a craps dealer at hotels and casinos back in the day, and as you've kind of built your companies, this football program is swelling as well with you. So there has to be some kind of a personal aspect to it, right, for you?
Well, yeah, I think it's personal, but I think the entire community will benefit and benefits from a big-time athletic program and in particular a big-time football program. UNLV is a national brand, and UNLV established itself really as a national brand, as you know, in the early 90s with the basketball team competing for national championships. And it is, at that time, I'm a graduate of UNLV in 1983, and the school has been up and down in the athletic program, as you know, over the decades. But that brand is still as powerful as ever. And my involvement is personal, given my ties to the community, given as a graduate of UNLV. But my motivation is big-time athletics and big-time college football associated with our brand, homegrown UNLV brand, benefits the entire community. It lifts all ships in the high tide of that excitement. And that really is what motivates me.
And from the fundraising side of things, I was really interested to kind of see the structure of how you've laid it out. I think it's a very palatable structure for fans and especially those of college football. You've got your 3-star, your 4-star, and your 5-star members, and it's similar to the way that recruits are labeled these days. Walk us through that process. How is it set up and how are the groups differentiated?
Yeah, so we wanted to put a group together that since has been named the Rebel Football Cabinet to help Coach Mullen and the football team to have certainty in terms of assets that they can count on going forward to build the program. We got a lot of help from the administration at the university in setting this up, but we wanted to set it up much like an athletic program, and the stars, the 5-star, the 4-star, and the 3-star, represent the levels at which members within the community have committed annual dollars to the football program, so that, again, we can have sustainable resources for the coach. So 5-star is the highest level, 4-star is a level below that, 3-star is a level below that. We have a goal of 20 members of our 5-star program.
Joined by Blake Sartini here on the Halftime Show. He's the founding chair of the Rebel Football Cabinet, and you mentioned your excitement on getting a guy like Dan Mullen here into this program, and a 6-0 start. Can't say anything bad about that, but you've got to feel pretty good about the time and effort that you've invested already in supporting Coach Mullen and the boys, right? Yeah, I mean, we went out to support Coach Mullen prior to the first game. I mean, we knew of his background, we knew of his success. We were proud as boosters of the program that the administration went out and found and got someone like Dan. So we jumped on the Dan Mullen bandwagon early, and we knew he was going to be successful. Dan has proven in the past to be successful. Obviously, we're from a gambling town. The 14 guys took a gamble on Dan. Dan knew, Dan's holding up his end of the deal. We're holding up our end of the deal, and we think the ultimate result
is going to be a sustainable winning, on a national level, sustainable winning football program. So yeah, Dan is the key. Dan is the tip of the pyramid for this whole thing.
Hey, it's been a good gamble so far, and it's interesting that it seems like this cabinet, it's beyond a group of just boosters writing checks to a program or a school. There's the structure, there's the unique aspect of what Las Vegas brings to the table that may be a little bit different, but it kind of feels like a group of investors in a business or the creation of a Rebel brain trust kind of. Why does the success of Rebel football and UNLV athletics as a whole, as an extension, mean so much to you and your fellow cabinet members?
I think that's a great question, and I think really that is the foundation. You put it well of what we're trying to achieve here. Listen, the football program success and ultimately the athletic program success, as I mentioned earlier, benefits the community. Las Vegas has 150,000 hotel rooms. It's the sports and entertainment capital of the world. What we don't have, or what we haven't had prior to the last 2 years, is a big-time college football atmosphere. The future, we believe, and this is the foundation of your question, is the future of UNLV football and the future of UNLV athletics is in a Power Four conference. And ultimately, our goal, and I know the administration's goal and the current coaching staff and their goal, is to get to a Power Four conference. What does that mean? In Las Vegas, with 150,000 hotel rooms, for example, if we get to the Big 12, you've got Baylor coming to town every other week, TCU coming to town every other week, Oklahoma State coming to town every other week. It is a win-win for the business community, for the community at large, and for the athletic program. The goal here, and I think we don't want to lose sight of that as the cabinet, is to get into a Power Four conference, and we believe the way we do that is with powerful programs, winning programs, and a consistent and permanent identity as a winning national program with the UNLV logo at the front of it.
Well, the Rebels trying to go for a big-time win today. This would be a signature victory for Dan Mullen and this UNLV athletic program. And Blake, on behalf of Rebel Nation, we definitely thank you for what you have done and what you will continue to do to support the Rebels. And looking forward to a fun second half here on the Smurf Turf.
Thank you. We're just getting started. We're looking forward to the future as well and look forward to the community to supporting us in this effort.
That's Blake Sartini, Chairman and CEO of Golden Entertainment and the founding chair of the Rebel Football Cabinet. We appreciate you stopping by on our halftime show. We'll be back with more of the halftime show presented by BEW and Nika next. This is the UNLV Sports Network from Millerfield.
Get the Chevy you want at the price you deserve. Finley Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Findlay. Finley Chevy is a place to buy. Home of the Woo! Yes, man can. Yes, man can.
This season, UNLV Athletics and Yes Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing are teaming up for home comfort savings. Call the pros at Yes and take $100 off any heating, cooling, or plumbing repair. Yes Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, official partner of UNLV Athletics. Just say yes and call 702-888-4937 to schedule your appointment today. Visit theyesmancan.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 71246, 71233, 87262, EAS 0074696.
Serving communities, citizens, and workers in Las Vegas since 1931. The unionized electrical industry, IBEW Local 357, and Southern Nevada NECA have provided tens of thousands of electrical industry careers for Southern Nevada families. To find out more about the union electrical industry, please visit lvpowerpro.org. That's lvpowerpro.org.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong, you are fearless, you are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory, a force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Parkway Tavern is the official home of the Rebels on the road. With 5 neighborhood taverns, including the newest location next to the M Resort, there's no better place to win with the Rebels. Enjoy $5 Bud Light and Michelob Ultra drafts and $5 Crown Royal and Captain Morgan cocktails during every game all season long. Plus, download the Parkway app and enter promo code BREAKFAST for a free classic breakfast from 12 a.m. to 10 a.m. at any of their 5 Valley locations. Parkway Tavern is a proud partner of your UNLV Rebels. Visit pkwitavern.com or follow them on social media for upcoming events and promotions.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the top college athletic programs for the 2025-26 college athletic season? Check out the criteria and follow the year-long standings of your favorite team at L Directors Cup on the X platform or online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2026 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. The Learfield Directors Cup, powered by NACDA, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Get the Chevy you want at the price you deserve. Finley Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Findlay. Finley Chevy is a place to buy. Home of the Woo!
UNLV and Boise State returning to the field, getting re-warmed up, so to speak, as the second half is about to kick off. 28-24 is the Boise State lead. UNLV scoring at the end to make it a one-possession game, and a phenomenal sequence for Rebel fans everywhere towards the end of that first half. But before we can resume, plenty of other games going on around the landscape of college football. Caleb Herring has your out-of-town scores presented by SNWA.
Out-of-town scores, some finals from the top 25 action that's already concluded in the morning slot. Oklahoma at number 14 over South Carolina, 26-7 was the final there. Georgia Tech, number 12 in the country, 27-18 over the Blue Devils of Duke. Vanderbilt ends up holding on to upset, sort of, the LSU Tigers at home. 31-24 was the final for Vanderbilt in the SEC matchup there. Current games going on right now, some big action in Memphis. UAB is on top of Memphis at the half, 17-14 at the moment. Group of 5 representation at stake for Memphis at number 22 in the nation. Keep an eye on that for the CFP if Memphis ends up making that a comeback or if UAB holds on. 17-14, like I said, at the half. Arizona State right now on top of Texas Tech, 9-7 in the second quarter, getting close to halftime. Ole Miss on top of Georgia, 28-20 right now, early stages of the third quarter. Michigan State and Indiana, game is in a delay currently, but the score was 21-10 before that delay started. Indiana is up on top of Michigan State. Ohio State handling business in the Big Ten all over Wisconsin. 20-0 is the score there. Just a quick peek at the Mountain West Conference as Wyoming is taking on Air Force on the road. They're on top 14-6. Those are your out-of-town scores as we get set for second half kickoff here from Boise State, Idaho. UNLV trailing 28-24. The defense will have the first crack at the Boise State offense. We'll see what kind of halftime adjustments Paul Gunther and the defensive staff has made to get their boys in position for a second half for the finish.
Broncos won the opening coin toss. They deferred to the second half for this very reason. And with a 4-point lead, they will get the ball to start here in the second half. They have already rattled off 206 yards on the ground. That's more than UNLV has averaged, allowing in entire games so far this year. They came in allowing 190 rush yards per game. They've already given up over 200. However, the score is what it is, and the Rebels down by single digits in a game that's been back and forth. It's been an offensive shootout to this point. We'll see what the second half will bring. Fresh 15 on the clock. Both sides return to the field as Caden Costa in the kickoff unit ready to get play back underway. Malik Sharon in the end zone watches the ball go in the air on a high-end over-end kick that he'll grab at his own goal line. Sharon will take it out right up the middle of the field. He's at the 15, cuts it to the top of the field at the 20, into some space at the 30, runs into his own defender at the 38-yard line and is brought down at the 40. Malik Sharon with a 40-yard return, brought down by Kamwela Kaehua. After that return, sets up the Broncos offense in outstanding field position to start quarter number 3.
Sherrod, who had the muff punt earlier in this ball game, has been looking to make amends in the return game. He's been eager to get and take one of these out of the end zone. That one was right at the goal line, so ample opportunity to get the ball rolling here for the Bronco offense. Great starting field position after big return.
Remember Malik Sharon from his 5 seasons at Fresno State. So 1st and 10 from the 40. Maddox Madsen and the Boise State offense heading from right to left here in quarter number 3. Latrell Capel's in motion from right to left. The handoff goes back to the right for Riley. He runs into a defender at the line of scrimmage as Zay Patterson in a one-on-one stop brings him down for no gain.
Chief Borders is down on the play. That is a tough injury. Not sure. He's able to move and roll around. Not sure exactly what happened. Looks like maybe a stinger based on his reaction. But that is already on the first play from scrimmage for the defense. You see an adjustment. The same motion that the Broncos used in the first half, the Rebels were trying to run across the field and keep the alignment matched up. And that created a disadvantage on the weak side after the motion, just not enough bodies to the boundary. This time, UNLV defensively actually rocks the safeties to match the motion, keeping enough bodies at home so that there's people there in the gaps that were created after that motion. So good early adjustment. Chief Borders.
It's actually Jake Pope.
It's Jake Pope, actually.
Yeah, 7-1.
He's been so important to the Rebels' defensive scheme all season long. So he's in on the run action as well down near the line of scrimmage. As part of that adjustment, instead of running with the motion, they're rocking the safeties. And that left Jake Pope in position to impact that play. That play was a 60-yard touchdown the last time the Broncos run it. This time it's no gain. So obviously early adjustment already for the defense.
Trey Fulton in to replace Jake Pope as the one deep safety. And on 2nd down and 10, Maddox Madsen lines up in the shotgun with 2 receivers and a tight end to the left. He'll drop back to pass. Looking over the middle of the field, he dumps it down to Sherrod on a running back screen. Breaks 2 tackles at the line of scrimmage. He is upended for no gain. Jalen Lee and Zay Patterson the first to contact him. Marcel McDuffie in on the stop as well. 3rd down and 10 coming up for Boise.
Boise going quick here. No huddle. Get back to the line for this Raising Cane's 3rd down.
Rebels show pressure. They've got 6 men in the box. They look like they're lined up in man coverage across the outside. Maddox Madsen doesn't like what he sees. He'll change the play. With Malik Sherrod in at running back on 3rd down and 10. Raising Cane's 3rd down as Madsen ready to pass. He drops back. Throws to the right side. Incomplete. The tight end Lauder had tripped. The intended target was on the ground. Madsen knew he had that outlet, but the throw incomplete on the sideline, and it's a 3-and-out to start the second half for the Broncos.
It's a great job in coverage on 3rd down, confusing Maddox Madsen, forcing him to throw the check down. That's going to be tackled for minimal gain anyway. Great coverage by UNLV, but even better play by Patterson on that 2nd down screen play. He causes the disruption that doesn't allow Sherrod to get going there. Great 3-and-out by the Rebel defense.
Rebels look like they're going to come after this punt as Oscar Doyle lines up on his own 25. He gets the kickoff, and D'Angelo Irvin Jr. standing on his 15-yard line, calls for a fair catch and makes the grab at the 16. That's where Anthony Calandre and the offense will take over, heading from left to right in the 3rd. They've got a chance with a touchdown on this drive to take the lead for the first time today.
That was an ideal start for the Rebel defense. After giving up so many yards in the first half, 307 total yards given up by the Rebel defense in 1 half of play. They give up absolutely nothing on the first drive of the second half. UNLV's defense has definitely changed the temperature of this game. Now we'll see if the offense, like you mentioned, can drive down the field and take the first lead of the ballgame.
Anthony Calandria leads the troops out from the 16-yard line. Marquise Gums is a wingback, the tight end on the left side. Jaden Bradley to that side of the formation as well. Now Gums in motion to the bottom. Rolling right. Calandria checks it down to Earl on a slant. Catches it at the 17. Makes a man miss across the 20-yard line. Spins around the defender and is tripped up at the 25. So a 9-yard gain sets up 2nd and 1.
Well-designed play there. A little wide receiver screen. Not quite a jailbreak, but middle screen after the play action with the orbit motion as well. Trying to get the defense flowing one way and come back underneath with the screen. That's a good pickup on 1st down.
Anthony Calandria now 12 out of 17 passing, his normal efficient self. 2 receivers to the left. At the bottom of the formation all alone is Jaden Bradley. Calandria changes the play at the line of scrimmage with 10 seconds on the play clock. A man in motion is Earl. Handoff goes left side. That's Jet Thomas. He cuts it up the middle, runs into a pair of defenders, and is knocked down quickly. Bowen Phelps combining with Jaden Mickey on the stop, but it's a 1st down pickup for UNLV. That's an EO's 1st down.
That's a good job by Calandria getting the team in the right play there against the look for the defense. Handing it off to Jaden Thomas, who's already been more active in this early going than he has all season long. Season high, 8 carries, 8 touches in the first half, and there he gets his first one for EOS Fitness 1st down.
9 carries for 25 yards so far for Jet Thomas. 1st and 10 for the Rebels from their own 28-yard line, trailing 28-24. Calandria on play action, drops back to pass. There's one to the far sideline, incomplete, looking for Day-Day Reynolds. He was covered tightly. That was really the only option for Calandria with the pressure bearing down on him.
I think Calandria maybe had more time than he thought. It's a good job having the urgency with that pressure coming. He sees it late, but the offensive line actually does a great job picking it up and keeping people from getting down in his face too early. But you're going to take a shot. It's likely that you're going to take it on 1st down there, and Rebels unable to connect.
2nd down and 10. Clock stops with 12:22 to play in the 3rd. Tight end left as Calandria takes the snap. Handoff goes outside zone left. Thomas across the 30. He's knocked down at the 35-yard line. Grabbing onto him by an ankle was Jaden Virgin Morgan. His 34th game played today for the Broncos, and that stop sets up 3rd and 3.
Rebels pulling the backside over, adding a gap to the front side, and doing a good job finding a way through the hole. Jaden Thomas, another nice gain on the ground for the Rebel offense, making 3rd down much more manageable. We'll see how they decide to attack it here on the Raising Cane's 3rd down.
3rd and 3 coming up for UNLV. They are 3 out of 9 on 3rd down today. Calandria rolls right, slings one to Thomas. On the check down, he cuts it at the 35, moves towards the 40, coming to the near sideline, stiffs arms the defender. He is tackled at the 37-yard line. That is going to be a half a yard short of the line to gain. Brings up 4th down and inches. Thomas picked up 2 yards there, but he ran a whole heck of a lot more than that left and right.
And I'm not sure if the spot is going to give him the first down. They are going to mark him a little bit. The boundary ref, it's going to be 4th and inches here. UNLV looks like they're going to send the punt unit out, at least initially. That was a mistake by Jaden Thomas, not realizing just to knife it upfield. He had the block from Will Thomas, and he had the yards to gain. He starts to go east and west instead of north and south. Rare mistake by the veteran running back. He had the first down. If he just puts his face down and gets the yardage, and he's getting an earful on the sideline. Got to be aware of where the chains are. Just put your face mask in there and get it.
And instead of going forward on 4th and short, Cam Brown and the punt unit out. He sends one high to the far side with a flag down on the line of scrimmage. It takes a bounce near the 20, rolls towards the end zone, and Malik Sherrod near the ball. The Rebels pushing him into it. It goes out of bounds at the 12-yard line on the far side. I don't know if Sherrod ever did pick it up. He was getting shoved all around, and keep in mind there was the penalty back on the line of scrimmage as well.
And this might turn out, I don't know what the penalty is going to be, but this is a late flag against the Rebels. That would be unfortunate. I think the offsides is what was the call against the Broncos at the line of scrimmage. And that's why they allowed the punt to go, because if it's an offsides against the defense, or excuse me, against the offense, it's blown dead. So this might be a catastrophic penalty late against the Rebels.
See what the call is as the officials gather near the ball.
It could be offsetting. Not sure if that's a dead ball foul against the Rebels and it happens after the play, then it's never a good sign when the officials are coming to talk to the opposing head coach. And they're trying to discuss exactly what happened here. That was a dead ball penalty against the Rebels late as they tried to force Sherrod into the play to touch the ball, which you can legally do. If the ball's rolling dead and one of their players is floating around near it, you can try to shove them into there. It's happened plenty of times. I don't know what the call would be if that's what they're trying to call.
Dan Mullen doesn't look too happy. Nolan Dumas, the referee, had been meeting with Boise State head coach Spencer Danielson. Now the call.
There are 2 fouls in the play, both by UNLV. Illegal formation, more than 4 players in the backfield to snap. It's a 5-yard penalty. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness number 25. It's a 15-yard penalty from the succeeding spot. First down, timeout on the field.
So both flags on UNLV, and Boise State will get possession. So both teams struggling offensively. No rhythm offensively for both sides here to start quarter number 3. Boise State leads UNLV 28-24. We'll step aside with 10:42 to go in the 3rd. This is Rebel Football on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
Serving communities, citizens, and workers in Las Vegas since 1931. The unionized electrical industry, IBEW Local 357, and Southern Nevada NECA have provided tens of thousands of electrical industry careers for Southern Nevada families. To find out more about the union electrical industry, please visit lvpowerpro.org. That's lvpowerpro.org.
A smooth, close Barbasol shave in the morning lifts your confidence. That rich, creamy lather will catapult you to greatness. Nothing can stop you today. Well, except that traffic jam. Barbasol, it's a can of can-do.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
The UNLV Sports Network from Learfield is brought to you by EOS. Get off the sidelines and into EOS Fitness, a proud partner of UNLV, featuring premium amenities, including their turf functional training area, Move EOS Cinema, open 24/7, and much more. Join now for as low as $9.99 a month at joineos.com, joineos.com. EOS Fitness, where there's a will. Also brought to you by Modelo, the official beer sponsor of the College Football Playoff. Since 1925, Modelo has proved it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters what you're made of. Modelo, the reward for full-time fans. Matt Neverett along with Steve Cofield and the former Rebel quarterback Caleb Herring here at Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho. The Boise State Broncos lead the UNLV Rebels 28-24. Boise has the ball with 10:42 to go in the 3rd. They're starting this drive from their own 32-yard line. Both defenses coming out of the locker room, Caleb, looking stout, both forcing stops on the first offensive drive for each team.
Yeah, I think if you're either offense, I think the Rebels probably feel like they maybe cost themselves a possession there. Jaden Thomas, a rare mistake not sticking his face in there on 3rd and short and getting the yardage. Instead goes laterally and ends up coming up short of the chains by inches, and that forced the Rebels punt. The Broncos, of course, went 3 and out on their first possession of the second half. Rebel defense looked like they made some necessary adjustments, at least for that first 3 plays. We'll see what the next adjustments will be by the Bronco offense and if the Rebels are ready for it. It looks like Jake Pope, who left that last set of downs with a little bit of injury, is back on the field right now. So obviously his availability for the moment is good.
Rebels in their 4-2-5 front. It's Maddox Madsen goes under center at his own 33-yard line. He's got a tight end each side. He'll turn and play action on a fake handoff. He'll set the feet. He'll fire deep down the middle in one-on-one coverage. That is caught. Oh, what a grab. Down to the 22-yard line of UNLV is Chris Marshall, and he is down in a heap after making a stellar diving catch.
That was an absolute fantastic catch by Marshall. Great coverage on the play. And the first deep shot downfield for this passing attack of the Broncos is a connection. Big-time transfer receiver, originally out of Houston, Texas. Marshall going to the ground and grabbing that one. He is hurting, though, on the field. But a big-time play. Nice throw by Maddox Madsen. Tough diving catch over Mumu there, who's great in coverage, but sometimes good defense is always beat by better offense. That was just a great connection, great diving effort by Marshall there, coming up with that big play.
And he is still down, getting helped up to his feet now, but it looks like TV's going to take a timeout, so we'll go with them as Marshall is helped off the field and gets a big round of applause after an outstanding diving catch, a 45-yard completion from Madsen to Marshall as the Broncos on the doorstep of the red zone. They're off the ball at the 23-yard line when we return. 28-24 Broncos here in the third quarter. This is the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
Injured in a car accident or at work? Don't go it alone. Call Shook & Stone, Nevada's premier injury and disability law firm. With over 25 years of experience, we've helped over 20,000 Nevadans recover over $1 billion in compensation and benefits.
At Shook & Stone, we understand the challenges you face after an accident or injury. Medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering. And insurance companies that put their interests before yours.
But you don't have to go it alone. Our team of experienced attorneys and staff is here to fight for the compensation and benefits you deserve.
Whether you've been injured in a car accident, workplace injury, construction accident, medical malpractice, or any other type of personal injury, Shook & Stone have the knowledge and resources to protect your rights.
For 3 decades, Shook & Stone has been here for you and your family. You're not alone. Call Shook & Stone at 702-GET-MORE for a free consultation. It won't cost you anything to see if we can help.
The official partner of UNLV Athletics.
Shook and Stone. Call 702-GET-MORE.
On the go and want to stay connected to live college sports anywhere in the country? Download the free Varsity Network app available on Apple and Android. With new features this season, it's easier than ever to listen live and keep up with your favorite teams. Don't miss a moment. Get the Varsity Network app now. Chris Marshall, after a 45-yard completion, helped off the field due to an injury. Rebels trail the Broncos 28-24. That catch sets up Boise State at the UNLV 23-yard line. And coming out of the locker room, neither side able to generate much of anything offensively until that big-time play. That was just a go-up-and-get-it ball. Sometimes a great catch beats great defense like we saw there.
Yeah, I think UNLV's aggression and the amount of bodies that they've committed to the box and the run game leave the corners one-on-one. And so far today, it hasn't really been an issue. And even on that play, the coverage was fine. Just a good ball and a good effort by Chris Marshall making a play. Transfer receiver comes in, and he's had an instant impact. Leading receiver on the roster for the Broncos, so he's had a fantastic season so far. That was a fantastic catch, that maybe the spark that the Broncos needed here in the third quarter to try to add to this lead. Still, not panic time for the Rebel defense. I think they still have an opportunity to hold this to a field goal, which would mean it would stay a one-possession game. That's got to be the goal for the Rebel defense.
They're hoping they bend but don't break as they send 5 men on the line of scrimmage. Madsen on first down. Sends Bates in motion to the top of the formation. He's got Sire Gaines in the backfield. On the jet sweep, Bates comes back to the left side. He gets to the line of scrimmage maybe before he is blown up by Zay Patterson, along with Marcel McDuffie. Linebackers filling that gap nicely, and they will give him a gain of about 3 yards.
Rebels bought the corner blitz from the boundary the Broncos actually, fortunately, they had the play called away from it. That was a well-disguised play. If anything would have been going front side, it would have been a tackle for loss for sure, but Broncos luck out there. Right call at the right time.
Now 2 running backs in the game. Bates on the left hip and Sherrod on the right. Has it in the shotgun, takes the snap, takes the handoff to Sherrod, looks back left side, wide receiver screen, caught by James. He's at the 10, cuts it inside to the 5, touchdown. Sire Gaines from 14 yards out extends the Boise State lead. It is now 34-24 on the first receiving touchdown of the year for the running back.
They ran that play earlier in the ball game, and D lineman was able to deflect it and get it down, knock it down on that running back slip screen. They came back to it because there was action, and they knew that, took note of it, and were able to execute there cleanly. Rebels weren't even lined up. There was some confusion with the linebackers, Marcel McDuffie and Zay Patterson, getting lined up initially, and especially against a screen play. If the linebackers aren't in position, it's usually a problem for the defense. Extra point is up and good, and just like that, the Broncos make it a 2-possession ball game, up 35-24 here, about midway through the third quarter. That just can't happen. UNLV, again, giving up explosive plays, quick drives like that, make it hard for anybody on the Rebel team, but especially for the offense, because now they have to generate a response and try to maintain striking distance with this Bronco offense. You started off the half with a 3-and-out, and because your offense wasn't able to produce anything on their ensuing drive, now you find yourself in a 2-possession ball game. So here we go. Can the offense respond? We said it was a shootout in the first half, 35-24 already here with plenty of football left to be played. No time to hang your hats now if you're UNLV. You've been in a shootout before. Let's see what you can come up with as a response offensively.
The Rebels rattled off 21 of their 24 points in the second quarter alone. So when that offense gets rolling, they're really able to generate some momentum, and they do a very, very good job of building on the defense. They're going to have to create some of that momentum by themselves here with Boise State into the 30s. It is a 35-24 lead for the home side in front of a sellout crowd of just under 33,000 here at Albertson Stadium. Colton Boomer lines up the kickoff unit following a 3-play, 68-yard drive, ending in a touchdown to Sire Gaines. Jalen Glover back in the end zone, watches this kickoff go over his head and out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. 1st and 10 coming up from the 25-yard line for Anthony Calandria in this UNLV offense. I believe it's the 4th time today, correct me if I'm wrong, that the Rebels have trailed by 11. Shades of that Miami, Ohio game where the deficit just kept going back and forth. UNLV was able to get it done when push came to shove there. They're hoping for the same result this afternoon. They're ready to go as Anthony Calandria is out there with Kevon Lee lined up behind him in the pistol. By himself on the left side is Troy O'Meara, Irvin, Bradley, and Moore on the right. Handoff goes right up the middle. Moore stuffed at the line of scrimmage. On a second effort is able to pick up 2, falling forward into the arms of Marco Notriani, the middle linebacker. Gain of 3 sets up 2nd down and 7. 9:20 to go and counting here in quarter number 3. Kevon Lee with 7 carries for 14 yards this afternoon. Some confusion as the Rebels break the huddle. They're trying to get lined up in the right spot. They'll go trips to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Calandria in an empty backfield directing traffic, getting everybody lined up. He'll take the snap. Wide receiver screen left side. That's complete to Irvin. He is knocked down after no gain. Good job of coming up by Derek Ganter Jr., the Eastern Washington transfer. Brings down Irvin for no gain.
Miscommunication there. I think Bradley's thinking they're running the fake screen, the pump and go, because he's running down the sideline all by himself, and he's wide open if that was the play. I think he's supposed to be blocking somebody, which is why Irvin is left-handed for himself there. Confusion again, getting out of the huddle. We'll see if the Rebels can get lined up and get this snap off.
3rd down and 7 to go as Calandria breaks the huddle in an empty backfield once again. UNLV was 3 out of 10 on 3rd down in the first half. Calandria pressure, throws over the middle. That's caught. Coy Moore's got it across the line to gain, down to the 44-yard line. Beautiful pitch and catch on a timing route for 1st down.
It's a great job against the empty blitz. The Broncos go cover 0 as they did earlier on a 3rd down with the empty blitz, and Calandria went to the bubble screen, didn't get the conversion. Here he stays in, buys enough time, falling away for the slant route of Coy Moore to get the yards to gain. Big time 3rd down conversion by Calandria.
He's now 15 out of 21 passing for over 180 yards. First and 10 from the 34-yard line. Hand off to Lee, outside zone left, cuts it up the middle, gets to the 40, runs through a defender and falls forward all the way to the 45-yard line. He was dragging big Lopez Sanusi with him. That's a 307-pounder getting brought along for the ride.
Subtle adjustment here by the Rebel backfield. They've gone more pistol formation. I think there was a key that the Bronco defense was picking up on in the run game in the regular shotgun. There they go with a little pistol look and get downhill on the counter play. Nice gain on first down.
Trips right. It's Moore, Lyons, and O'Meara, the three receivers to that side. On the screen, Moore catches it at the line of scrimmage, gets around the outside of midfield, runs over a defender and spins off a tackle, forced out of bounds on the near sideline at the Boise State 47-yard line. Moore with some physicality on the outside there.
Good finish to the run, good blocking on the edge by the UNLV receivers there. Gets the first down. Another EOS Fitness first down on the play. Great job getting this drive rolling on the plus side of the 50 for the first time in the second half.
Calandra has completed passes to 9 different receivers today. That's a season high for number 10. On first and 10, on the end around, he fakes it. They throw deep, looking for Bradley. Incomplete, too much on the throw. On a trick play of sorts, Calandria had Bradley past his defender, but the throw led him too far, and it's an incompletion, setting up second down.
Going with the shot play on first down on the plus side of 50. A lot of offensive coordinators, when they get a drive going like this, second first down, you're looking to take a shot. Rebels go ahead and take it. Safe throw. Good coverage. Good job by the Broncos staying home. Had a receiver, had a defender underneath, and a defender on top of Bradley there. Would have had to be a perfect pass for a hope of completion.
Nick Elksness into the game at tight end. He's lined up on the right side as Calandria takes the snap. He looks to throw. He's pressured from the backside. He is sacked. David Latu got to Anthony Calandria. Marco Notriani in on the stop as well.
And if you're Calandria, you got to cut that loose. Protection held up. They brought one more than you can block. You can tell he felt that time was running out, but you just got to cut it loose there, even if it's just a throwaway. That's a second big sack of the ball game that's really hurt UNLV. It's almost like a penalty there for UNLV, except you lose it down as well. So third and forever here for the Rebel offense.
8-yard loss makes it 3rd and 19. Boise State showing pressure at the line of scrimmage. As Calandria takes the snap, he'll roll to the left. He sets the feet. He's going to try it himself. He gets it to the 40 on the near sideline, to the 45, dives towards midfield at the 50, and he is muscled out of bounds. Didn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage.
This is the subtle things within the game within the game, that you end up hurting yourself. You take a sack on second down, and because you lose all that yards, you make it impossible to overcome that. That was a good drive as far as production, finding some yardage and some production from the offense. Taking that second down sack is a tough one. You got to also think about Corey Dennis, the offensive coordinator, the play calling selection there. You take the shot on first down, you drop back to pass it again on second.
Cam Brown on to punt, couple of steps to the right as he gets this one off under pressure towards the near sideline. Sherrod calls for the fair catch. This one's received cleanly at the 12-yard line, and that's where Maddox Madsen and the Boise State offense will take over when we come back. 5:48 to go in the third. Broncos have the ball, leading UNLV 35-24. Rebels hoping for a big-time stop, trailing by double digits. This is Rebel Football on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
Miss a show? Check out lvsportsnetwork.com for everything ESPN Las Vegas, 1100 AM and 100.9 FM, KWWN Las Vegas.
Every coffee, every tank of gas, every grocery run gave something back to you. With the Westar Flex Reward MasterCard, it does. Earn 1 point for every $1 you spend and redeem for cash back, travel, or charitable giving. Plus, get 1,000 bonus points when you open your card and 1,500 additional points with your first purchase. Everyday spending, everyday rewards. Apply today at westar.org.
All loans are subject to approval. Terms and conditions apply. Must be a member to borrow. Share savings with a minimum balance and membership eligibility required to become a member.
We're hiring at A1 Garage Doors. No experience? No problem. We provide full training, a brand new van, top-of-the-line tools, a gas card, and steady jobs with weekly pay. This isn't just a job. It's a career with real growth, great pay, and job security. Our team members go from training to 6 figures, and we're ready to help you do the same. Don't wait. Apply now at a1garage.com/careers.
A1garage.com. A1 from day one.
The UNLV Sports Network from Learfield, proudly presented by Parkway Tavern, official partner of UNLV Athletics, and your home of Rebels on the Road, as well as the Dan Mullen Coaches Show. With over 250 beers, 24/7 gaming, and 7 Valley locations, there's no better place to catch the game than Parkway Tavern. Also brought to you by Progressive Insurance. They offer home, auto, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit progressive.com today. Boise State leads UNLV 35-24. The Broncos are going to get the ball when play resumes. 5:48 to go in the third. And some things to like that last offensive drive for UNLV, but definitely some decisions made by Anthony Calandra that you would have liked to have seen changed.
Yeah, I think the major one there is just throwing it away on that second down play instead of taking the sack. Rebels got aggressive with the first down shot call once they crossed the 50-yard line, which is fine, but as a quarterback, if you're not going to connect on that, you need to understand what the new situation is for your team. You're trying to get something, anything on that second down play. If it's a quick throw or if it's a throwaway, just keep it at the line of scrimmage, stay ahead of the chains. Instead, he holds on to the ball a little longer than maybe he should have and takes that sack, which really derails the possession there for UNLV and makes it impossible to overcome the chains on 3rd and 19. So UNLV's defense now will come out and try to stop the Bronco offense here. Got the early 3-and-out, but then the Broncos were able to march down the field with some explosive plays. So we'll see if they've settled in.
1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Maddox Madsen goes under center. He hands it off right side. That's Riley. He runs into the line of scrimmage, and Marcel McDuffie grabs a hold, wrestles him to the turf after a gain of maybe 2 yards. 2nd and long upcoming. Good stop there by McDuffie and the rest of this defensive front.
Yeah, 2 yards is a generous spot there. They give him forward progress. He was stopped initially at the line of scrimmage, maybe on a 1-yard gain, but good job there by the Rebels on first down, not allowing any leakage. Everybody's in the right gaps, and sometimes that's what it looks like when you're playing good assignment football up front.
2nd and a long 8. Riley in the backfield, standing tall a la Ashton Genty. Madsen goes under center. He changes the play at the line of scrimmage. Didn't like the look that he saw. Rebels send pressure in the box on a fake toss. He'll roll to the left side. Gets around the defender with the pump fake, and he runs it himself at the 15-yard line to the 20. Down to the 25 to the 30. At the 35, he is blasted. Maddox Madsen put his body on the line, was able to pick up first down yardage and then some. He took a shot at the end of that scramble.
It's the second time that a Rebel defender has left their feet, jumped out of the gym on a pump fake by the savvy quarterback. You just can't do that. Everybody's locked in on the assignment that play. A rare case for UNLV as Andrew Padrell goes down to a knee after that play. Has a slight limp. Looks like he's trying to walk it off, but the training staff comes out to attend to him. Hopefully just some crampers going on. He's trying to shake it loose. Now. But again, Marcel McDuffie was the victim earlier of the Maddox Madsen pump fake, and there it was Osei Igbase who leaves his feet and allows Maddox Madsen to escape. The back end of that coverage did a great job. There's a guy for the tight end in the flat. Nowhere really for Maddox Madsen to go. A sure sack if you just play disciplined football and do your job and do what you're supposed to do, which means getting on that inside hip of the runner, pressuring the ball, and staying on your feet. There's no need to jump for the pump fake. You got a sack dead to rights near their own end zone. Instead, Igbase leaves his feet, and Maddox Madsen makes him pay, picking up a huge gain for him on the ground. First big run for Maddox Madsen in terms of yardage on the ball game.
He's able to turn it into a 25-yard gain, setting up the Broncos with 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line. Ball snap from the left side hash with Marshall in motion to the right side. Now Madsen takes the snap, fake handoff. He steps back, pressure in his face from Luke Conti. Throw to the near side is caught. Cameron Bates has it at the 45-yard line into Rebel territory and out of bounds on the near sideline, all the way down to the 36-yard line for Cam Bates.
I think everybody in the stadium except Maddox Madsen saw Chris Marshall wide open for a touchdown on that motion. The wheel route obviously causing some confusion. Amars Brown frustrated with the sideline. Is he supposed to chase the wheel, or are they passing it off? And I think he thought he was going to pass it off. That field corner, Mumu didn't think he was passing off. He stayed with his man. The wheel was wide open. Rebels dodge a bullet.
Mumu heads to the sideline. Amars Brown replaces him. Madsen on first down, takes the snap, hands it off to Riley, who runs it right up the middle and is brought down after a short gain. They'll give him 4 yards. He basically ran into his own offensive lineman, and Marcel McDuffie was the man to get credit for the tackle.
And I don't know if the issue for the Rebels is discipline with the adjustments and the motions and the shifts, or if it's just not having the answer for motions and the shifts. But the Rebels have been confused here on this possession. Still confused coming out of the huddle in this play.
Tight trips formation to the right side as Maddox Madsen now sends Bates in motion to the left. He'll stop and come back on the orbit. Madsen fakes the handoff. Pump fakes again, gets around Spellman, but he turns around and helps bring him down. Blessing Oluwalu, Tui Olamotu falling down on top of Maddox Madsen. There's that pump fake again, nearly disastrous. That was a great recovery from Spellman.
Yeah, good job by Spellman to recover. Good job by Blessing also to have his eyes in the right place. That orbit motion and return motion was intended to get the momentum flying one way and come back after the play action the other. Great job by Blessing to be there to help, making that tackle for no gain.
Madsen tackled, making it 3rd and 6, 35-24, the Boise State lead with 2.5 to play here in the third. Bates motions to the middle, now back to the right. Madsen takes the snap and rolls in that direction. He sets the feet, fires over the middle. He's got a man at the 15-yard line, running to the near side. That's Marshall. Marshall by a defender to the near pylon, and he's in. Touchdown, Chris Marshall. For the second time this year, he finds the end zone. And Boise State has their biggest lead of the afternoon. It is 41-24 with 2:21 to go in the third. 32 yards from Madsen, capping off a 6-play, 88-yard drive that rattled 3 minutes and 27 seconds off the clock. And now here comes the Bronco extra point unit out to make it an 18-point lead. Mason Hutton on the snap, Oscar Doyle on the hold, and Colton Boomer's extra point is up and good into the net, splitting the uprights and making it a 42-24 Boise State lead. Still plenty of time for UNLV with 17+ minutes to play, but the deficit is as big as it has been all afternoon, and the Rebels will get the ball on the other side of a break, trying to cut into that deficit, make it a one-score game at the worst. 42-24 is the deficit. Back in a moment from Boise. This is the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Benjamin, we've got a surprise for you.
What? You have a brother. $100 bill just like you.
Hey, I'm Ben.
What? We just got him for joining America First Credit Union and opening a new checking account.
And you're going to live together at America First.
What? This is nice.
For a limited time, new members get a $100 cash bonus when they open a checking account or $50 when they open a youth checking account. So head to AmericaFirst.com and get your money working today. Membership eligibility, terms, and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCAAF.
Deep Eddy Vodka, a high-quality vodka with an even higher purpose, to bring people together for good times. We take sunshine, stellar vibes, and laid-back fun and bottle it up for the world to enjoy. The result? A refreshingly clean, real vodka made with real ingredients, ready for you to enjoy however, wherever, and with whomever you like. Vodka is for fun. Please drink responsibly. Deep Eddy Vodka is a product of Deep Eddy Distilling Company, Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, distilled by corn.
Rebels trail Boise State 42-24 here late in the third quarter. Let's send it down to the Rebel sideline with our very own Steve Cofield.
Sideline report is brought to you by the Southern Nevada Chevy dealers. You know, first quarter I talked about how the defense was kind of studious and being quiet, and well, they've become a little fractured after that play. The defensive backs are having a really tough time, including the safeties, and they're dealing with injuries. Andrew Padrell just went to the tent. He's trying to walk off. It looked like a right leg injury. We know in the first half, Amaris Brown was dinged up. We know LaTerrence Welch came into the game also beat up. So right now, physically, they're having trouble, and obviously communication has become a real big issue, especially on the back end. We'll send it back upstairs to Matt and Caleb.
And Caleb, the communication in a hostile road environment was one of your keys that you were going to keep an eye out for right when we took the air on the Ted Weens pregame show.
Yeah, the communication was going to be a factor one way or another with this crowd noise in here. But defensively on that side of the ball, early on we saw that the Rebels safeties and defensive backs were in the mix on the ground game. And they were committing a lot of attention to being run stoppers and playing as the edge contained guy. And that adds communication elements to their defense. When there's motions and shift, they're so worried about what gap they're supposed to be fitting in the run game. And then before you know it, the passing game starts to get rolling as well. That's what we're seeing here in the second half is the Broncos have made an adjustment in terms of where they're attacking the defense. It was the perimeter on the run game, and then it became the inside on the run game. And now it's using those motions to create mismatches on the outside in the passing game. So the Broncos offense is showing so much diversity, and UNLV is not able to keep pace with their mental adjustments.
Rebels trail by 18 as Colton Boomer kicks this one off. Jalen Glover lets it go out of the back of the end zone, and that'll be a touchback once again from Boomer and this Boise State kickoff team. So 2:21 to go in the third. Rebels need points here. We were at the point earlier in the game, Caleb, where field goals would have been fine. They're at the point now where they need 6.
I think they just got to maintain striking distance here. UNLV, you're not going to get it all in one play, but to overcome this lead against this Bronco team, who's played great defensively so far, you're going to have to inch your way back into this game. And time is winding down.
Tight splits all the way around as the first down handoff goes right up the middle to Jet Thomas. Initially looked like he was going to burst through the line of scrimmage, but he is tripped up quickly by Jake Ripp, that weak side linebacker coming in and getting Thomas tangled up. He'll give him a yard, sets up 2nd and 9.
Trying to set up the counter there, just not enough space created on the kickout block to let Jet get through cleanly. If he's able to get through clean, he might have some more yards on the other side of the hole, but tremendous individual effort there up front by the Boise State Broncos.
3 receivers to the left, including Gums, Bradley, and I believe that's JoJo Earl. No, Day Reynolds on that far side. Calandria on a designed run, keeps it up the middle, jukes a man out to the inside, gets to the 45, to the 40, to the far sideline at midfield. Calandria to the boundary, dives, and he's down at the Boise State 46-yard line. When push comes to shove, you know Calandria is going to put his body on the line.
And why is the clock running? That's a first down. The chains aren't set, and they're rolling the clock. The clock should stop. It's a first down. The chains are nowhere near being set. And time is going to become a factor here. There should be extra time added. That clock was rolling for about 10 seconds after the big play. Great run by Calandria. Well-designed play. Rebels got robbed of about 20 seconds there as the clock wound after the first down.
Calandria takes the snap. The Broncos send pressure. He'll roll right. He'll throw over the middle. It's incomplete. A low throw off the back foot intended for D'Angelo Irvin, who was standing wide open at the 30-yard line.
Calandria just didn't reset his feet, going against his own body on the rollout. I think he had time to set his feet and make an accurate throw. He tries to throw it on the run, throws it in the dirt in front of D'Angelo Irvin. Clock stops at 1:05, and that's an error by the officials there on that big run by Calandria. He didn't go out of bounds. It's a first down, though. It's college football. It's a first down. The clock should stop until the chains reset. Rebels lose out on 20 seconds. Now incompletion brings up 2nd and 10.
1:05 to go in the third. Calandria in an empty backfield. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the bottom of the formation, including Tayshawn Lyons. He looks to pass. He's hit as he throws to the near side, and it's picked off. Amarion McCoy's got it at midfield, running the other way. Nobody to beat. It's going to be a pick 6 for Amarion McCoy and the Boise State Broncos. Just the 4th interception this year for Anthony Calandria. And that's probably the most costly of the 4 that he's thrown. 48-24, the Boise State lead as the Broncos start to open this one up in the second half. You can only assume that the pressure influenced the throw by Calandria. Amarion McCoy, a 5th-year senior, a veteran player, just jumped the route.
Just an absolute miscommunication on the pressure up front. Get into it after this extra point.
Boomer's kick is up, and it splits the uprights, making it 49-24.
And the Broncos did bring pressure there. Rebels have gone empty to kind of clean up the picture for the passing game. They do it there, and the Broncos don't even bring pressure. They only bring 4. Left tackle just absolutely cuts the DN loose, and he has a clean shot at Calandria. I think the decision to make the throw was already the wrong decision, and it didn't help that he was taking a hit as he delivered that ball to the field flat, which is where the Rebels have made a lot of money this year. But the Broncos, with their aggressive nature, knew the ball was coming out quick in the empty set, and they are able to jump it and make the interception. McCoy has nobody in front of him. Easiest pick 6 you're going to see. Rebel offense now adding fuel to the fire with that pick 6, and this game is quickly getting out of hand here in the third quarter.
Amarion McCoy's 4th career interception, his 3rd of the year, goes for 6 on a 60-yard interception return touchdown from the 6-foot-tall senior out of East Palo Alto, California. Calandria now 16 of 25 passing, 193 yards and 1 touchdown through the air. Calandria also the leading rusher with 89 yards for UNLV on 12 carries. The deficit is now 25 points. And there's still 54 seconds to go in the third. Rebels need to get it going now if they want to have a chance to complete a miraculous comeback. Colton Boomer puts boot into ball and hits one low on a squib kick, and that'll bounce at the goal line in the air and go out of the back of the end zone. So, well, it looked like Boise State wanted to induce a return. The kick too much, and Calandria and the offense back out from the 25-yard line, trailing by 3 scores plus. This is an example here. You got to see how quickly your quarterback can turn the page, wash his hands, so to speak, and pretend like that didn't happen. You got to have a short memory, especially in a game like this. Calandria comes off the sideline with 3 receivers to the right, comes the tight end left, and Jalen Glover, the running back, off of his left hip. On 1st and 10, Calandria takes the snap, looks to throw, checks it down left side flat to Jalen Glover. He makes the catch and spins himself down at the 30-yard line. Tackle there made by Jeremiah Irby.
Those two have met each other earlier in this game. Irby took the hit from Glover on the sideline earlier, had him leave the game. He's back out there, makes the tackle this time in open space on the running back.
5-yard gain, sets up 2nd down and 5. Trips right again for Anthony Calandria. He'll hand it off on the left side to Jalen Glover. He'll run it around the outside. Spins by Irby at the 30-yard line. Gets it up to the 35 to the 40. Knocked down. Good job by Marco Notriani to prevent a touchdown. But a 1st down run sets up the Rebels with an EOS Fitness 1st down.
Great job there. Thought that play was going to get tackled for a loss. Good job, though, by Glover to bounce outside, make a defender miss in open space with the spin move. Haven't seen that, a spin move.
Yeah.
Pushing the circle button as the Rebels content to let the quarter wind down. Trailing now by 3 possessions, 25 points. They'll have a quarter to try to overcome it. Gut check time for the Rebels. Both sides of the ball. What are you made of? Really the toughest form of adversity the Rebels have faced all season. On the road, down big in the 4th quarter. How do you respond? We'll see on the other side of the break.
Boise State holds a 21-0 advantage in the second half. They lead 49-24, and after 3 quarters of football, 15 more minutes to go. The Rebels will have the ball after we flip fields and get the 4th quarter started. Back with the final stanza right after this. It's UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Rebel fans, it's college football season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Hail Marys and walk-on heroes. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to UNLV football games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the UNLV Rebels. Let's go, Rebels! SeatGeek.
We love the thrill of a game-winning drive. And when it comes to exploring the wild side of Nevada, we've got a few epic drives of our own. Road trips to fill your heart. Hot springs, ghost towns, desert art. Destinations a world apart. So go on, get a little out there, and experience all that the Silver State has to offer. Start planning your trip at travelnevada.com.
Rebel football on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield is brought to you by America First Credit Union. With an unbeatable roster of financial products, tools, and services, America First has everything you need to get your money working. So make a fast break to AmericaFirst.com and join the home team today. Also brought to you by SeatGeek. They make it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the action this season. Whether you're buying or selling football tickets, SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of UNLV football. Along with Steve Cofield and the former Rebel quarterback Caleb Herring, Matt Neverett with you from the Smurf Turf of Albertson Stadium here in Boise. And so far, the Boise State Broncos, the better team in the second half, no doubt about it. They outscore UNLV 21-0 in the 3rd quarter alone. And as we get set to start the 4th quarter, it is a 49-24 advantage for the Broncos. Rebels do have the ball on the Boise State 43-yard line on a 1st and 10 to start the 4th, but UNLV needs a lot of things to go right in a very quick fashion for this game to end in a good way.
They got a lot to overcome here, including the Boise State crowd who's fired up going into the 4th quarter, looking to help their team to a victory. But UNLV has time left on the clock, and again, we'll see how gutsy they can be. Not an easy task overcoming a 25-point deficit in 1 quarter, but the Rebels have been able to show at times this year how quickly they can score.
Still firing off fireworks on the north end zone. That's where UNLV's heading. They'll flip the field and head from right to left as Anthony Calandria starts the 4th quarter with Troy O'Meara by himself on the left, 2 receivers right, including Coy Moore in the slot, and Matt Burns, the tight end to the right. Jalen Glover in the backfield. He'll fake the handoff to him. He stays in the block. Calandria airs it deep to the far sideline. Incomplete, intended for Bradley. Bradley gets tied up on the far sideline, just trying to get off the field with Jeremiah Irby, who's going to get back to his own sideline now as Bradley goes to the bench.
Bradley had that. It's actually a really good throw by Calandria. It looked like it went right through his hands on the deep shot. Thought there was a chance of connection. And so that's a drop by Jaden Bradley there.
And we just saw the replay. That was a dime by Calandria. He threw it in the bucket. So that sets up 2nd down and 10 from their own 43-yard line. Calandria changes the play at the line and gives it off up the middle to Jalen Glover. He breaks a tackle at the 45, cuts to the far sideline. He's at midfield to the 30, to the 40, down to the 30, to the 25, tackled at the 20-yard line. A touchdown saving stop by Zion Washington as Jalen Glover injects a little bit of life into this UNLV offense with a big-time run up the gut.
Best run of the day from a UNLV running back. Great job by Jalen Glover. Might be working his way up the depth chart as well here with some of his individual efforts there. Great job on the edge by Troy O'Meara as well, getting that block to spring it for the extra 10 or 15 yards. Rebels now in striking distance. With the time left in this ball game, wouldn't be surprised if they start taking shots from the end zone from here.
1st and 10 from the 20. Enos Fitness 1st down for UNLV. 2 receivers to each side. Jalen Glover still in the game in the backfield. Calandria to pass on 1st down. He steps up. He throws end zone to the far corner. Incomplete. Looking for Tayshawn Lyons. One-on-one coverage there. Too tight from Derek Ganser Jr.
The only shot that maybe you had is the back shoulder throw there, but a slot fade against off coverage. Safety's off 10 to 11 yards. That just wouldn't be where I'd be looking in the pre-snap read there. Really intended for the press coverage to throw that deep shot to the end zone. Rebels taking shots, though, to the end zone there on 1st down.
First target for Lyons today falls incomplete. 14:32 to go. 49-24 is the deficit. Handed it off right up the middle. It's Thomas. Makes a man miss at the 18-yard line, but he is knocked down emphatically right afterwards. Sanusi with another stop. That was no Triani that got juked out of his shoes by Jet. Falls forward for 4 yards, setting up a 3rd down and 6. Rebels have faced a lot of 3rd and medium today. Part of the reason why they are 4 for 12 on 3rd down, by far their worst game of the year in that stat. And they'll go to the huddle with the clock winding at 14 minutes and counting. And they come out with 5 wide, 3 to the left, 2 to the top of the formation in O'Meara and Earl. Calandria in an empty backfield, motions the tight end, Gums up the middle, and he's going to run it himself on a draw. He turns left and has nowhere to go. He's brought down in the backfield.
I don't know where Calandria is going there. The play is designed to go right underneath the kickout block of Gums. They had a huge play on it earlier.
It's a great block.
And Gums actually set it up. It was there and might have walked into a 1st down. Instead, he tries to go left into a crowd of nothing.
And on 4th and 8.
Takes a negative play now. Now it's 4th and 8. Rebels were going to go for it either way, but you take a loss and now make 4th down even harder to overcome.
4th down and 8 to go. The Rebels have not attempted a 4th down conversion today. However, they are 5 for 7 in converting 4th downs on the season. Calandria steps up, changes the play, looking at his 2 receivers on the left side of the formation. On 4th and 8, he'll throw. Boise brings pressure. He throws end zone to the near sideline. Incomplete, intended for Joe Earl on the front pylon. Looked like he had the look he want. One-on-one coverage, and Earl had the outside leverage, but the throw led him too much, and it's a turnover on downs with 13:03 to play.
Yeah, it's just the decision to go for it on 4th down. Obviously, you're forced to in this situation. Taking that negative play, the Rebels have had stuff drawn up on these 3rd down conversions to convert, and that's not the first time in the second half. Jaden Thomas earlier had an opportunity to get a 3rd down conversion, and they squander it with mental mistakes, and there Calandria is guilty on that quarterback draw. That could have been a nice big gain for an easy 1st down if he goes the right way, but misses the hole and forces you to go for it on 4th down. The Rebels had an opportunity to score some points and chip into this lead, but they come up short, and now the defense back out there.
Broncos will have the ball at their own 18-yard line with 13:03 to go in the 4th when we return. It's Boise State 49, UNLV 24. This is the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
Good morning.
Vegas is built on service.
Studio lights on, please.
3 shifts a day.
All right, let's do this.
As your morning begins,
It's showtime.
Stand by.
We have a lot to talk about live on the program for the next 3 hours.
To do our part, News 3 Today delivers Las Vegas stories that shape your community.
Just in some breaking news on the economic front.
So, whether breaking news bumper to bumper,
Avoid using flamingo,
or clearing skies,
no showers anticipated.
It's News 3 Today.
Great cities are built on strong foundations. The skilled members of Laborers Local 872 never stop building. From the asphalt on our roads, the concrete in our buildings, the solar fields powering the economy, and everything in between to work safely. Labor's Local 872 is modernizing the Nevada workforce and building a global city. The future is Union Strong.
Rebel football on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield is presented by Findlay Kia. Proud to support your UNLV Rebels. Visit them at 5325 West Sahara Avenue and get the best price on Kias in the Valley. This is Kia Central. Also brought to you by Kohl's. Bring on school at Kohl's. From on-trend outfits to everyday styles, find looks your kids will love at prices you'll love when you shop at Kohl's and Kohl's.com, where families come first. 49-24, the lead for Boise State. They've got the ball with 13:03 to go. And down on the Rebel sideline, Steve Cofield walking around. Steve, what do you got for us?
Southern Report brought to you by our friends with the Southern Nevada Chevy dealers. Well, as Caleb pointed out, on the third down play, Anthony Calandre had a gaping hole to his right. When he came to the sideline, very frustrated, Dan Mullen came over, showed him the tablet, froze it on that shot, and simply said, you got to trust it. Sometimes you just got to trust the simple blank. We'll send it back upstairs to Matt and Caleb.
Yeah, and Caleb, sometimes it's the decisions that you make that are too much that can lead to some lack of success, so to speak, there. Calandre just needed to take the easy one on that one. So Boise State's got the ball heading from left to right. Some shadows starting to creep in as Maddox Madsen goes under center. Caples motions to the top of the formation, and the handoff goes up the middle to Dylan Riley. Riley runs into the pile, pushes the pile forward a yard, and picks up just the one. Sets up second down and long, but for Boise State, that clock continues to wind. Under 13 minutes to go. The Broncos have racked off 463 yards of total offense. They've done a lot of that on the ground. We'll break the huddle here with 17 seconds left on the play clock. Expecting the Broncos to rattle off as much time as they can. Two tight ends and a receiver to the right. Gains in the backfield once again. They'll hand it off to him. Beg your pardon. That's Riley. Riley into some space into the second level at the 35 to the 40. He goes to the far sideline and is tripped up at the 46. Great job to catch him by the ankles. And a touchdown saving stop from Jaheim Joseph, one of our pregame guests on the show today.
And then what I'm doing now as part of my job and learning about this team is watching the body language of the guys on the field still. And this is the first time during the year that I've, on the field at least, seen a little bit of give up by the players out there, and not everybody, but giving effort there. That's just a gaping hole there in the inside. Poor gap discipline by the Rebel defensive front.
Broncos come out in the same tight bunched up formation. Same motion as well, with Caples moving to the left, and it's the same play call but a different running back as Malik Sherrod gets the handoff up the middle. He's able to get it to midfield at the 50-yard line before he's brought down quickly. Good stop there by Marcel McDuffie, one of the two captains today at the 50.
He's one of the guys who understands how to play through the final whistle. See Amaris Brown in on the action as well. Great job by those two guys individually, but defensively as a unit, this has not been a good showing. Back-to-back 40-point games given up by the Rebel defense. The Broncos have had just about anything they want here in the second half.
11 minutes and counting to go as Maddox Madsen goes under center once more. Caples motions to the left once more, and they give it off to Sherrod on the right side. He cuts it in, and Morris Brown and Marcel McDuffie combine again to bring him down.
This is the thing about the Rebel defense that may be the most frustrating for me. When they look good, when they are in their assigned gaps and doing what they're required to do, it looks good. That was an example there, similar to what we saw in the early going in this ballgame. Spilling out the play to the edge contain. Amaris Brown doing a good job forcing it back into the help and making that game tackle for a loss there. Short loss, but a loss nonetheless.
Riley back in the game at running back. 3rd down and 5 to go for the Broncos. They have been 4 for 8 on converting third downs today. Rebels show pressure, but now back away. And Madsen sends the tight end in motion and gives it up off the middle to Riley. He runs into the gut of Marcel McDuffie, who holds him up. Jake Pope comes in to finish him off. He's 2 yards short of the line to gain on 3rd and 5. And the Broncos look like they're going to keep the offense out on the field. That kind of no man's land in neutral territory in the middle area of the field.
Bring in some heavy personnel as well. Based on the way this game has gone so far for their offensive line, they think they've got a really good chance of getting this 4th and 2. We'll see if the Rebel defense can stand strong here and come up with consecutive 4th down stops.
Broncos this year 11 of 20 on 4th down. In the backfield is Sire Gaines standing tall, and there's a false start on the offense. maybe on the defense. Certainly some movement from the wide out Latrell Caples.
The Rebels didn't cross the neutral zone. They flinched, but they didn't cross the neutral zone.
Here's the referee, Nolan Dumas, to tell us about the call. Meeting with his umpire right now.
This is on the offense, and just the reaction of Maddox Madsen. The defense is allowed to flinch in their position. That doesn't count as drawing the offense offside. I think this should go against the Broncos.
And now here's Nolan Dumas.
False start, Brady 8, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
That's the right call there. The officials get it right. They talk about it, get it right. Rebels do a good job holding the water. They flinched in their stance, which they're absolutely allowed to do, but nobody entered the neutral zone. So the receivers and the linemen on the offense are not allowed to move. So that is the right call. Rebels get the 4th down stop, or excuse me, the 3rd down stop. Force the Broncos to punt it here on 4th. Broncos try to get a cheap one with the false start by the Rebels.
Instead of a 4th and a short 2, it's 4th and 7. So Spencer Danielson, the second-year head coach for Boise State, is going to send the punt unit out. And the Rebels look like they're going to go after it. D'Angelo Irvin back to receive this one from Oscar Doyle, the Aussie. They'll roll to the right side. It's a fake. He's complete to Wagner at midfield. He's across the line to gain down to the Rebel 40-yard line before he is pushed out of bounds. It's not uncommon to see punters from Australia roll to the right before kicking one, especially on the low-line drive kicks. So nothing out of the ordinary at first glance there from Oscar Doyle.
You got to understand what that sets up. Anytime you add that to your punt coverage team, there's something that the special teams coordinator is looking for with the rollout and your response. And they got exactly what they wanted as the Rebels tried to come after that one.
Doyle can throw. He had a touchdown pass on a botched field goal snap last week against New Mexico. On 1st and 10, Madsen throws it on a little check down to Matt Lauder on a tight end screen left side. Brought down by Jake Pope after a gain of 6 down to the 32-yard line. A lot of moving bodies through the middle of the field on that play. Boise State continues to wind clock. 8:30 and counting to go in this one. They lead 49-24. 2nd down and 4 upcoming for the home side. Rebels able to lay it all out there here in these final 8 minutes plus with a bye week coming up. Same deal for Boise State Broncos. They've got a bye before heading up to Reno in 2 weeks. On 2nd down and 4, Madsen hands it off right up the middle as Dylan Riley breaks a tackle at the 30-yard line, but he is cracked. Big time hit by both Jaheim Joseph and Marcel McDuffie. Stops him right at the line to gain. Looks like they're going to mark him about a half a yard short, setting up 3rd and inches. Broncos make some substitutions, bringing in a heavier package offensively. And the clock continues to wind here on 3rd and less than a yard with the ball spotted on the end zone side of the 30-yard line. The 29 is the line to gain. Madsen under center. 2 tight ends on the right along with the receiver. And it's Sire Gaines, the running back. Lauder motions left. They hand it off to Gaines. He finds a hole, falls across the line, and goes down at the 25-yard line after being tripped up by LaTerrence Welch. 1st down pickup keeps the clock rolling and keeps the Broncos with possession. And they'll bring a couple extra tight ends in, getting even heavier on the personnel side of things on 1st and 10. We're at the 7-minute mark here as the Broncos putting together a long, sustained drive with a 25-point lead. 2 receivers break the huddle heading to the left. Tight end is a wingback on that side of the formation as well. It's Riley, the running back, standing tall, a la Ashton Genty. Peoples motions right. Handoff goes up the middle. Coming in from the backside to get him down is Amaris Brown. He grabbed him by the ankles. Rest of the defense finished him off. A pickup of 3 sets up 2nd and 7 for the Broncos. And while if you're UNLV here, you don't want to be in this position down by 4 scores. But this is the kind of point of the game where you can learn a lot about your personnel.
Yeah, I think UNLV is learning a lot about themselves. I think we talked about what was at stake from a psychological standpoint before this game kicked off, and Boise State asserting their dominance in this rivalry.
Adds it under center again on 2nd down and 8. He'll turn and hands it off left side to Sire Gaines. He goes through the 5 gap and gets knocked down by Cohen Fuller. A short pickup sets up 3rd down and 6.
You talk about you having to beat the champs and those kinds of statements and what this game could have meant for UNLV to submit themselves as legitimate. Now, a loss here doesn't mean that the season's lost, right? Obviously, but this is the first time that this group will have to look at a loss on their resume. How do you respond to that, this new kind of adversity? They've always been able to figure it out so far this year, but learning experience and opportunity here, playing for pride as this game winds down.
Under 5.5 to go. It's 3rd and 7 for the Broncos. Back in the shotgun goes Maddox Madsen. He'll pass. He steps back, throws left side. He's got a man wide open. It's Malik Sherrod at the 15 on the far sideline to the 10, the 5. Touchdown. Malik Sherrod from 16 yards out. It's his first touchdown through the air today. It's his first receiving touchdown of the season. And with 5:11 to play, it is 55-24 Boise State. Maddox Madsen matching his season high with 4 touchdown passes today. He's completed 15 passes total. 4 of them have been into the end zone. The kick from Boomer is low, but it is good. And it is 56-24 Boise State. With just over 5 minutes to play and some of the fans starting to head for the exits here at Albertson Stadium.
Late penalty flag after the field goal kicked. There's some unsportsmanlike stuff going on at the end, and didn't really see what was going on as well after both special teams units were clearing the field. But Broncos on 3rd and long convert for a touchdown. Malik Sherrod, the Fresno State transfer, gets in the end zone. I'd say he made up for the muff punt earlier, but we'll see what the official call is here from the White Hat.
The try is good. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 68, Boise. It's his first of the game. 15-yard penalty enforced on the kickoff. Timeout on the field.
So that drive doing exactly what the Broncos wanted it to do. 12 plays, 82 yards, taking nearly 8 minutes off the clock. And after a TV timeout, UNLV is going to have the ball down 56-24. This is the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
A true teammate takes on every day with a winner's attitude, gets up when they fall down, and leaves it all on the field. There's a group of teammates who do all these things every single day. But they're more than your typical athlete. They're kids facing unthinkable medical circumstances. Team Impact matches children facing serious illness and disability with college sports teams, creating a long-term, life-changing experience for everyone involved. Join us in the movement to get all kids in the game. Visit teamimpact.org to learn more. Team Impact. All in, all together.
Too much of the same thing getting you down. Your prescription for fun and excitement? A South Point Hotel and Casino. See a live show, enjoy a first-run movie, go bowling, indulge in great food. 11 restaurants are just waiting for you, including an all-you-can-eat buffet. Go for a splash in the incredible pool area. Indulge in a steam, sauna, facial, or special massage. Oh, yeah! And there's always free parking. You won't want to leave. Your entertainment destination and your prescription for total fun. The South Point.
All right.
With 5:11 to play, Boise State leads UNLV 56-24. Not the game that Rebel fans hoped for, not the game that this coaching staff and players expected. And with just 5 minutes and 11 seconds separating this game from being over, UNLV's got to live with this one over a bye week next week. Sometimes that can make that sting just a little bit more when you've got to think about it for 2 full weeks, right?
Yeah, I think so. The bye you never want to go into with the loss. Obviously, you have to sit with it. Sometimes that's the beauty of football is you have the next week to prepare for it. But in this case, UNLV has a little bit of downtime to kind of sit with it. Maybe there is, a blessing in that because there's more time to recalibrate, find some adjustments, get ready for the next opponent. So you make sure you rinse this taste out of your mouth the next time you get a chance to. But it's a tough loss for this team. They've been kind of owned here in Boise State. I know this team has high aspirations and feels highly of themselves, especially off to a 6-0 start on the year. This is really the first time they've had to look up and say, wow, we just got our butts kicked here. And that's the case. The scoreboard shows that, and the feeling shows that, especially for the defensive side of the ball. They just got kind of ran through here. Maybe a little bit of a humbling experience for a team that hasn't tasted a defeat yet.
After the penalty, the Colton Boomer kickoff comes from the 20-yard line. Jalen Glover's first return of the day starts at the 10-yard line, up the middle to the 25. He is upended at the UNLV 28-yard line. First time that he's had the ability or even the option to take it out. And so for Anthony Calandria and the rest of this offense, playing for pride at this point. And with Boise State rattling off 8 minutes of game time in that last offensive drive with 5:05 to go, this very likely could be the last time that UNLV touches the ball in this drive. Time of possession has not been an issue for the Rebels. They've had the ball for nearly a half hour. 29 minutes, 39 seconds of possession. Just over 17 minutes TOP for the Boise State Broncos, who look like they're about to rattle off their 5th win of the year. Out of the pistol, Calandre hands off to Glover, but the play whistled dead on a penalty flag coming from the near side line judge before it can start.
Looked like a false start. Center didn't snap the ball as everybody got moving. The Rebels will start this drive going back.
Prior to the snap, false start, we're 79. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So they'll call that one on Austin Boyd in at right tackle. And that'll move the Rebels back 5 yards. The penalties haven't been too much of an issue. That's the 7th one of the day for UNLV, and these are the 2 most penalized teams in the Mountain West, coming in over 8.5 penalties per game for each side so far.
They walked off 6 yards on the penalty. That's weird, but
after a 6-yard false start, Calandre hands it off right side to Jalen Glover. He's able to get back to the 25-yard line and fall across that line to the 27. He is 1 yard shy of the original line of scrimmage when he was tackled. That'll set up a 2nd down and 11 with under 5 to go. Max Stiege out of Germany on the stop. One of a handful of international guys on this roster for Boise State. Representatives from Canada, Cameroon, Ireland, and Germany. 2nd down and 11 as Calandre hands it off to Glover left side. He's into some space, makes a man miss at the 35-yard line, cuts it inside, and dives while being tackled to the 38-yard line. That'll move the chains. That's a real wanted type of run from Jalen Glover.
I mentioned it earlier. He may be earning some more touches. The way he's running the football, I think he's a perfect mix between Kevon Lee and Jake Thomas. Kind of the best of both running backs in one package, really, with his size and physicality, bouncing off tacklers and getting some yak yards to get the first down.
5 carries for 60 yards. The 70 check that for Jalen Glover. He gets it again on the left side, outside zone. He gets it across the 40. He's into some space at midfield to the other 40, to the 35, to the 30. Cuts inside of the 25. He is wrestled out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Another big-time chunk run for Jalen Glover. Franklin Johnson Jr. eventually tracked him down.
It's a great run, great patience, letting that play develop in front of him before exploding through it. We'll get a well-earned break here. Rebels inside the 20-yard line. Great effort by D'Angelo Irvin pursuing that play as well. He was hustling, trying to get a touchdown block. Did get it, but the Rebels rolling.
With 3:20 to go, it's 1st and 10 from the Boise State 19-yard line. Kevon Lee into the game. He'll get the handoff up the gut. He is wrestled to the turf. Big stop there by big David Latu, 6'4", 325-pounder, making the tackle. 2-yard gain brings up 2nd and 8. Clock winding down under 3 minutes. Rebels trying to get some kind of momentum offensively here at the end of the game.
Yeah, it feels good to get the ball into the end zone. Make it another 30-point game for the offense. At least have that to hang your hat on. We'll see if they can punch it in.
2 receivers right. O'Meara by himself on the left. They'll throw in that direction. He makes the catch over a defender. Touchdown! He went up and mossed the defender. Troy O'Meara on his 2nd touchdown reception of the year. Went up and got it in a one-on-one coverage.
Great job going up and getting it there. Good ball, giving his receiver a chance, and O'Meara comes down with it. Fantastic catch by the big wide receiver there. He's got some range as far as catching those contested passes. Had a great catch last week against Air Force, and this one for a touchdown. Maybe too little too late, but again, feels good as an offense to put 30 points on the board.
High snap held down by Connor Meltzer, and Ramon Villega's boot is up and through. The Rebels continue their streak of scoring 30 or more points in every game this year. They just eclipsed 30 now. It is 56-31. Boise State's got the ball with 2:45 to go. They'll have the 2-minute timeout here as we'll keep it here, and the Rebels trying to find something defensively to hang their hat on. There really hasn't been much over the last couple of weeks that this defense they really can be proud of, giving up about 500 yards last week. 500 yards exactly this week coming in.
Yeah, and the Broncos in years past have been masters in this situation. The 4-minute offense, they're trying to make this the last possession of the ball game. You always want to end a game with the football, especially if you're up. So Rebels, we'll see if they decide to try to be aggressive and go for an onside kick or something like that, just to make things a little interesting and, if nothing else, more respectable on the scoreboard. We're giving up 56 points to any offense. Is terrible as a defensive effort. There's no really soft way to say that. An offense should, on a good football team, expect that 30 points will win the game, or at least have them in contention for a win at the end. But scoring 31 points on a good Bronco defense, by the way, and not even being close in a ball game, the woes are definitely on the defensive side of the ball. And they've got to figure something out. I don't know what the adjustments need to be. I don't know if there's more attention to detail that needs to be had, more individual development on that side of the football. But they have just not been able to stop anybody, much less the reigning Mountain West champion Boise State Broncos. So UNLV's got to get back to the drawing board on that side of the ball. Again, I'll say this, offensively, that is a good job showing some will and determination, some grit in the face of what looks like an insurmountable deficit. To go out there and go have a touchdown drive late in the ball game. As Steve Cofield down on the sideline has a real feel for the temperature on the sideline. What's it like down there, Steve, during this loss?
Not a whole lot of celebrating by the offense. They know what's going on in this game. The shame of it is you got 31 points on the board, a little less than the offense averages at 38, and right now you appear to be out of the game. They're setting up an onside kick. I'm not exactly sure what kind of onside kick it'll be, not to give out key information, but I'm guessing it might be some sort of spinner on the ground, but we'll see how they execute it and see if they get the ball back here, as special teams certainly wants to make up for that mistake earlier. It got real heated on the sideline on the fake punt conversion, pass by the punter with Boise, so Adam Shire was really fired up. We'll see if he can get a positive here for special teams and get the ball back.
And if nothing else, practice executing an onside kick. You never know when you might need it in a real critical situation, so success rate is not that high on onside kicks. Obviously, Rebels have given up an onside kick.
I don't think they've attempted one yet this year.
They haven't attempted one yet, so we'll see if they can come up with it, if they do, in fact, decide to go with the onside kick.
So different strategies on the onside. Some bouncers, spinners. I've also seen it where the kicker just finds the closest defender and just kicks it right at his chest and hopes for a bounce.
That might be my favorite iteration out there, just trying to bean a guy off the tee. We'll see what the Rebels decide to do here. Obviously, the Broncos are lined up ready and anticipating the onside kick.
So Caden Costa's got it laid on its side on the 35-yard line. He will hit the spinner. It does go 10 yards, but it is recovered by Boise State. At least it looked like on the initial glance. And it is Bronco football at their own 46-yard line. And with 2:44 to go, they're going to try to wind this one down and move to 5-2 and firmly supplant themselves all alone in first place in the Mountain West at 3-0.
That was actually a good attempt at an onside kick. It looked like they had a shot at it. Unable to come up with it. Defense will take over. UNLV with all of their timeouts. We'll see if they decide to use them, if they come out and get a first down stop or something like that. But 2-minute timeout as well to stop the clock. Again, playing for pride here if you're UNLV defensively, as the Broncos go to their bench and Maddox Matson's day is done.
They'll go to Max Cutford, the backup quarterback, the 6'2 redshirt sophomore from nearby Nampa, Idaho. He'll give it up off the middle, and on a 2-yard pickup, a cloud of dust at midfield. Sets up a 2nd down and 8, and they should wind us all the way down to the 2-minute timeout as Boise State dips deeper down their depth chart. John Breeze Dubar, the 4th running back on the roster with the carry wearing number 1. And with the 23 seconds on the game clock, 2:22 on the play clock, Boise State looks content to wind this one down all the way to the 2-minute timeout. Rebels will have their one final pause, likely to be a whole bunch of run plays afterwards as Boise State winds down what looks like it's going to be their 5th win of the season. Clock strikes 2 minutes exactly. We'll step aside for the 2-minute timeout. A 2nd and 7 upcoming from midfield on the other side. It's Boise State 56, UNLV 31 on the Rebel Sports Network from Learfield.
Modelo is an official cerveza of the Las Vegas Raiders and the JT the Brick Show. Modelo Especial is a rich, full-flavored Pilsner-style lager, delivering a crisp, refreshing taste, brewed with fighting 1925.
Hey, Benjamin, we've got a surprise for you.
you.
What?
You've got brothers.
Huh?
A $50 and $200 bills just like you.
Hey, what's up?
What?
We just got them for joining America First Credit Union and opening a new checking account.
And you're all gonna live together at America First.
What?
This is nice.
For a limited time, new members get a $250 cash bonus when they open a checking account with direct deposit or $50 with a youth checking account. So head to americafirst.com and get your money working today. Membership eligibility, terms, and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCAAF.
Plumbers, HVAC techs, contractors, and DIYers. McFadden Industrial Hardware has the tools, parts, and supplies to power your next project. Open early and stocked with everything you need. Stop by South Decatur near Russell. McFadden Industrial Hardware. Fast, easy, and built for the pros.
Laugh your way to work with the Press Box. Weekday mornings starting at 7 here on ESPN Las Vegas, 1100 AM and 100.9 FM. KWWN Las Vegas.
Rebel football on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield is presented by Shook & Stone. Injured in a car accident or at work? Call Shook & Stone, Nevada's premier injury and disability law firm. With over 25 years of experience, they've recovered over $1 billion for clients. Call 702-GET-MORE for a free consultation today. Also brought to you by Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles. 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. 2 minutes exactly to play in this one as Boise State leads UNLV 56-31. This is an interesting wrinkle as a rematch of the last two Mountain West championship games. It's the fifth time in the history of the Mountain West Conference that the championship matchup plays again next year, and the defending champ has won all four of them, about to make it 5 in a row. And for Spencer Danielson, he hasn't lost often. He's 19-5 so far as the head coach of Boise State. At 36 years old, he's going to move to 12-0 at Albertson Stadium. And the Broncos are going to win their 15th straight conference game today. Insane what they've been able to build here, keeping a lot of these same guys in-house for 3, 4, even 5 years up in Boise. Broncos ready to go out of the 2-minute timeout on 2nd down and 7, heading from left to right. Ball spotted right at midfield on the near side hash mark. And UNLV down by 25 points, won't call timeout, so Boise State can run the ball 3 or 4 times, take a knee as well. It's the backup quarterback, Max Cutford, in for the 4th time this year in 7 games. Cutford under center. He sends a man in motion, turns and hands it off to John Breeze Dubar on the right side. Cuts it back up the middle, grabs onto a defender and brings him along for the ride. Corey Hall makes the stop. Ball moved into Rebel territory. The chains move as well. Clock's going to stop for them to be set. And with 1:53 to go, they start moving now on 1st and 10. Again, both teams going into a bye week when this one wraps up. Boise State will head to Reno in 2 weeks, take on the Wolfpack. UNLV returns home to take on New Mexico November 1st in a game that's going to kick off at noon. You can join Caleb and I on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network for that one. And the Rebels will have 2 weeks to try to shake this game out of their system. Cutford in victory formation as Boise State's offense goes down to a knee. They'll have to take one more, and that's how this game is going to end. Second straight game, the Rebels have allowed 500 yards of offense. Second straight game, they've given up 48 points or more. And the Broncos had answers for UNLV offensively. Crowd starting to file out here at Albertson Stadium. As UNLV about to fall to 6-1 and 2-1 in the Mountain West. Over the last 2 years, it'll be just the 4th loss, regular season or otherwise, for the Scarlet and Gray. Cuthbert under center, takes the snap, takes a knee, and that's going to do it. Still about 30 seconds to wind down, but the two teams meeting at midfield now as Boise State defeats UNLV 56-31. The Broncos are now 5-2 on the year, 3-0 in the Mountain West in first place, and Dan Mullen's first loss comes on the road. UNLV now 6-1, 2-1 in the Mountain West, and they fall for just the second time in the last 2 years in a road game. Fireworks going off as the clock strikes 0, and it is official. 56-31 is our final. We'll have our post-game show coming up, presented by Findlay Toyota. We'll give out our Raising Cane's Player of the Game, our South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa Play of the Game, and Coach Mullen's going to catch up with our very own Steve Cofield. 16 straight wins here at home for Boise State. They rattle off another one in a 25-point victory. We'll be back with the post-game show next from Albertson Stadium on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
Get Get the Chevy you want at the price you deserve. Finley Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. F-I-N-D-L-A-Y. Finley Chevy is a place to buy. Home of the Woo!
Yes, man can. Yes, man can.
This season, UNLV Athletics and Yes Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing are teaming up for home comfort savings. Call the pros at Yes and take $100 off any heating, cooling, or plumbing repair. Yes Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, official partner of UNLV Athletics. Just say yes and call 702-888-4937 to schedule your appointment today. Visit theyesmancan.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 71246, 71233, 87262, EAS 0074696.
Deep Eddy Vodka, a high-quality vodka with an even higher purpose, to bring people together for good times. We take sunshine, stellar vibes, and laid-back fun and bottle it up for the world to enjoy. The result, a refreshingly clean, real vodka made with real ingredients, ready for you to enjoy, however, wherever, and with whomever you like. Vodka is for fun. Please day drink responsibly.
Deep Eddy Vodka is a product of Deep Eddy Distilling Company, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, distilled by Korn.
At Intermountain Health, we believe life is a circle. May yours surround you with insight, a healthy perspective, trust, and reassurance. The belief that our differences aren't that different, and compassion just when you need it most. Life is a circle. May yours help you live the healthiest life possible. Intermountain Health.
Serving communities, citizens and workers in Las Vegas since 1931. The unionized electrical industry, IBEW Local 357 and Southern Nevada NECO have provided tens of thousands of electrical industry careers for Southern Nevada families. To find out more about the union electrical industry, please visit lvpowerpro.org. That's lvpowerpro.org.
Injured in a car accident or at work? Don't go it alone. Call Shook & Stone, Nevada's premier injury and disability law firm. With over 25 years of experience, we've helped over 20,000 Nevadans recover over $1 billion in compensation and benefits.
At Shook & Stone, we understand the challenges you face after an accident or injury. Medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering. And insurance companies that put their interests before yours.
But you don't have to go it alone. Our team of experienced attorneys and staff is here to fight for the compensation and benefits you deserve.
Whether you've been injured in a car accident, workplace injury, construction accident, medical malpractice, or any other type of personal injury, Shook & Stone have the knowledge and resources to protect your rights.
For 3 decades, Shook & Stone has been here for you and your family. You're not alone. Call Shook & Stone at 702-GET-MORE for a free consultation. It won't cost you anything to see if we can help.
The official partner of UNLV Athletics.
Shook and Stone. Call 702-GET-MORE. Get the Chevy you want at the price you deserve. Finley Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. F-I-N-D-L-A-Y. Finley Chevy is a place to buy. Home of the Woo!
Rebel Football has been brought to you by Findlay Chevrolet. Findlay Chevrolet is home of the #1 volume Chevy dealer west of Texas. Also by Barbasol Shaving Cream, delivering a quality shave at an honest value for over 100 years. This is the Rebel Postgame Show.
UNLV falls for the first time under Dan Mullen, 56-31 the final, as Boise State now at 5-2 and 3-0 in the Mountain West, first place as they try to defend their back-to-back Mountain West Conference championships. The Rebels offensively rattled off 476 yards. It was a balanced attack offensively as well. 261 on the ground. Anthony Calandria threw